excited. I love to see this part of you.
Hey guys, welcome to the show. Sorry, we've been chatting behind the scenes.
Hey,
Getting ourselves
everybody.
ready. It's mad. It's mad. We've been getting ready. So, um, yes, guys, welcome to the live Ready to Love. We are talking about yesterday's episode 5, and season 4. So it was quite an interesting episode. There was a lot that was going on. Really interesting. Because of Stacy and the chrysanthemum kind of mix that was going on. So really did appreciate the episode because I think it showed us a different side of everybody. There was some different things that were coming out. Ron was moving to Alexis and right in front of a chrysanthemum as well, and he knew what he was doing. I said, "You think you're smart?" And you calling people number one as well. You think you're smart? But we'll get all into that. I am joined with some lovely people, and I realize I've taken off the banner, so nobody knows your names on here. Let me put that back on so they can see who you are. That's a bit rude, isn't it? Do you get me? So let me put that back on. But yeah, I am joined by some lovely people. On my right hand side, we are joined by Onu, yes, our residential doctor, the one who dissects, breaks down. He's our brother on the panel who's joining me, and hopefully we can get some testosterone going today, brother. You understand? Appreciate it. On my bottom left, I have my lady in green today. This is where the money resides. Okay, all right. This is our residential. I still call her doctor because she uses very big words. Yeah, very big words. Sometimes I'm just like I'm looking at her like, wow, you're so amazing. You're so great.
I
You know what
love
I'm saying?
you.
So I appreciate
Thank
you,
you.
Ken. You know, I appreciate you.
Hey,
You know what I'm saying?
Kojo.
It's
Hey,
love. Good to be
everybody.
back. Good to be back. We
It's
missed
so
you.
good to be. I know.
Where's DA
I know.
Reach? DA Reach will be in the chat like, where's Kenny and where's Lola? That's what
They
she
always
asking.
screaming for Kenny.
I love you guys. I honestly love you guys. No, work has been crazy. It's a Panasonic, and people are losing jobs and stuff. So you have a shrunken workforce. So we're trying.
I hear you.
But yeah, but I'm here today.
We're glad because we've got some stuff to chop it up to. So we're waiting for you to dissect. And Maria, we appreciate you too. You know what I'm saying? A residential artist who needs 4 men beaten up before you can introduce yourself. Okay, guys. All right. Yeah. She wants a strong one. Okay. Not a weak one. You know what I mean? Yeah. Not passenger side or the best friend's ride trying to holler at me. That's the kind of guy she don't need. Okay. But I appreciate you, Maria. You always come with sense. Mediator. Always keep it chill. You know what I'm saying? But when you want to speak and you want to put the fire on them, she always brings a fire, so I appreciate that. But let's get the conversation going. You guys were chatting behind the scenes. We were chatting behind the scenes, and it was an interesting conversation. We were talking about obviously about Khalil and the fact that obviously he showed us, I guess, a different side to things than what we have seen in the actual show. So, what was your thoughts on Khalil? I'll let Onu go first because I know he had some stuff he was going to say. So go for it, Onu.
Get ladies go first. We gotta let ladies go first.
That doesn't exist here, bro. Okay, Shivery's dead. Now go on.
All right. My thing with Khalil is it's like his personality. We are able to see him come forward and get a little more of his history, but also we see him actually have a natural conversation with people. And I was like, okay, if this was the person that we're introduced to, I don't see how it would been hard for him to connect to other people. It just felt he looked so introverted. He looked so on the show on the first scene, looked so introverted. It wasn't hard for him to have a conversation with people. And like of all the people to have an introductory conversation with, Amber might have been the hardest one to have with. And I was just like, okay, my initial impression was like, okay, he doesn't socialize, he doesn't have talk, he doesn't have in-depth history. But like all these things were taken away. And I was like, okay, this guy is very intelligent. This guy has a huge backstory. He's telling me what his role was in his relationships that failed and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, like if I saw that guy, I would want to hang out with that guy versus the guy I saw on the show. So again, I think the editing and like maybe the environment might be an issue with Ready Love, but like getting to know these characters, if we were given an opportunity and if these other contestants were, maybe things might not have gone the way they are going right now.
Cool. Good point. Ken, go for it.
So first off, I agree with Anu. First off, second, Kojo, that was an amazing interview that you did with Khalil. Amazing. amazing. You brought him out of his shell. You could tell that he probably started watching your videos and was like begrudging, but then he was like, oh, this guy has some minerals, right? And it was like, next thing you know, he's talking gamma, octopus, all kinds of things. Like, you want him over. So that human verification, he seems like a nerd. It was right up his alley, like excellent interview. Khalil's an introvert. Watching that interview, I wasn't surprised why he went home. And he's an introvert. He probably walked in there ready to love. And by the sixth woman, he was like, child, I don't talk too much and I'm tired and it's cold and I don't see anyone who reads books here, or whatever. Like, you could tell he was tired. He was tired. And so his quirkiness was like showing up in more negative ways. And he also has like a weird sense of humor, which we saw during your interview, where he's like, if you're not really checking for it, you're not sure if he's serious, throwing jabs, or really, really joking. Right. So I could see how it just went left for him. He seems like a sweet dude. I love the fact that he said he's in therapy. Right. But he seems like a good dude, where in another setting where he had enough time to breathe and things could be fleshed out and more paced, and you don't have the scrutiny of production, because he was talking about them going in and out and all kinds of things. I think he would have flourished. This was not for him. This was literally his nemesis. It was his kryptonite. It was his Achilles. And I'm not surprised he got sent home. He had no chance of staying there under those conditions. First of all, an introvert talking to so many people and being on for that long sounds like a nightmare.
I hear that. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Maria, what's your thoughts?
Penny kind of took the words out of my mouth. I do appreciate like your interview skills, number one, like the way you're able to just loosen people up and get them comfortable with just being open and honest is like top notch. I don't know how you do that, but especially after we be going in on these folks.
We went in. Especially on Khalil, we went in.
Be like, yo, Khalil, he tried. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then you get them on the show and they're like, oh, Kaja, we're friends. Like, I'm just like, But I just thought it was just such a great, candid conversation. We got to see a side of Khalil that, like, we didn't get to see on the show. There is a certain, one thing I said the last time we did a live about him is like, I think he's probably the type that you just need time for him to grow on you. And I think that that's exactly what we saw in the interview. And I think if he had more time, he would have made better connections with people. And, that's usually how introverts work. But I do think that there is a certain element of first impressions that is a skill that you have to develop when you're in the world of dating. And so I do like how they do send people home like kind of right away, because I know some people think like it's too soon to send them away just off of like one mixer, but I do understand that with this being a game show or whatever the case is, that if you're going to be in an environment like this, you got to be good with the first impressions. And I think that he's just not that way. And some people are not that way, and they just need time to warm up and kind of like get to know them better. But all around, like, I really enjoyed the interview. It was great. I love seeing people outside of the show and how they really are, and getting to know a little bit more about their background. It seems like he's lived a few lifetimes, and he has a lot of stories to tell and a lot of things to talk about. So that conversation with Amber was just kind of like a little disappointing, knowing all of that now about him, because he could have just brought so much more to that. But I just enjoyed it.
Appreciate that, guys. Appreciate it. Thank you again for bigging me up. I appreciate that, man. So having said that, let's get into the business. Let's get into the reason why people are here. They want to know our thoughts on the actual show that just went past. Okay. We're going to start strong. We're going to start real strong, because I think this is the biggest talking of the actual show. Is it Frit and Frack? Is that what they call themselves? Frit and Frack? Is that what they call themselves? Frit and Frack? You can unmute yourself, Maria and Kenny. You can unmute. Frit and Frack?
Frick and Frack.
Frick and Frack, yeah.
Frick and Frack.
Yes.
Frick with a K.
Like fricknick and fracking. Yes.
Is that an American word or something? Because I'm struggling to find out what does that mean?
It's like 1 and 2, 5 and 6. You know, you're always together, frick and frack.
Okay, because the UK, I was thinking to myself, we don't have a clue. I thought that was just some kind of.
It's dumb.
It's dumb. It's juvenile. In Nigeria, we say 5 and 6 because you know you see one, you see the other.
Oh, okay. It makes sense. All right, cool. Let's talk about obviously the frickin' Frack. I mean, you know, that was one of the biggest things aside Stacy herself. Her and Chrysanthemum together causing commotion, I guess, in the actual ball, and it not going well and going down with the lads. What was your kind of thoughts around that, Maria and Kenny and Oni? What was your kind of thoughts around that?
Well, not surprised, but you know, interesting observation that those two clicked like right off the bat. The two super racially ambiguous ones of the bunch. Like they said, the moment we saw each other, we just clicked. Why? Like you guys don't really actually know each other, but you know they are cut from a similar cloth in that they're racially ambiguous, but they have this, you know, black, you know, attitude about them, or they try to be within the black culture. I don't know what their ethnic background is, so I don't want to like pass judgment, but it seems a little bit removed from like full on Afro, you know, African, right? So I thought that was interesting, and I thought that the energy that they brought was of this like attitude of like and I hate to bring like light skin versus dark skin and all that, but I feel like they almost were putting themselves on a pedestal, you know, like the attitude is, I know I'm cute and I'm fly and a little bit better than these others, which is what caused them to kind of separate themselves from the other bunch and kind of cling together and form a little team or sister wife alliance, whatever. And you know, when they were put up against like Alexis Fly or whatever, it was like like that you're going over there to talk to your number one or whatever, and it's like their personality didn't have the depth because they didn't think that they actually needed the depth. Right? They thought because of their light skin and their straight hair and, you know, all of that, that they would just be thirsted after, you know, and I see that type of attitude a lot in those types, you know. They gave me a lot of vibes of like Black girl culture appropriation type stuff, like the Kim Kardashians of the world, like who just want to benefit from, you know, the Black features, Black atmosphere, the Black attitude, but don't always get the negative sides of that, right? So I did think it was interesting that, you know, Stacy got sent home, you know, because she brought a lot of aggressive energy. We were calling Stacy, not Stacy,
Alexis.
We were calling Alexis aggressive, you know, like that was like a buzzword for Alexis, but she actually, you know, was able to play her cards way better than Stacy, and Stacy was actually aggressive as well, but we didn't actually see that until later on, you know, like she was being aggressive the whole time. She was also doing little innuendo jokes or whatever and stuff like that, but we saw it a little bit differently. And, you know, that's on all of us as viewers or whatever watching. And so I don't want to pass any blame on that, but there is like a difference in perception in the way we see dark-skinned women versus light-skinned women. And, you know, with her being, you know, that mom figure and everything, I think that stems from her like still making her son this surrogate husband. It's hard for her to differentiate the lines between a romantic involvement and a mother involvement, right? Like she's blurring those lines and she doesn't know how to turn it off. Like with her date with Ron or whatever, I'm like, girl, like you should, like, this is your time to make an impression on this man, just talk about y'all. Stop bringing up Chrysanthemum. Like, you're wasting your time talking about freaking Frack or whatever when you could be, you know, actually building your connection with him. And I felt like even at the masquerade mixer or whatever, she was taking on this motherly, protective persona for Chrysanthemum as well, because she was like trying to make sure Chrysanthemum was being treated right, but she wasn't actually making any solid connections herself, and, you know, being more selfish, I guess, in her self-centeredness. So like, I'm like, you know, your priorities are a little bit messed up, but you think that it's cool because you just, when he broke the news to her that, you know, you're not ready to love, she was taken completely off guard. She was like, she didn't even think it was possible. She was almost like, how dare you? She said, I feel cheated. How do you feel cheated when this is the premise of the show?
Yeah, I was going to lie to you. I was thinking the same thing.
Who cheated you? You felt cheated because you thought that it was just a given. You felt entitled to winning at this show. And that's that, you know, attitude that I was talking about earlier. So, yeah, I said from, you know, the last live, I didn't like Stacy. I didn't like her attitude. I didn't like the way she treated Chris. She has that stuck up attitude about her. So, you know, it is what it is. I'm glad they got her up out of there. And, you know, Chrysanthemum, she's going to follow down that same path because she doesn't really have the depth. When she said that Ron was in her top, or like became her number one, it was all just because they had an amicable date and he was talking about how much he brings to the table. And that's what told her. They didn't actually make a connection in terms of a deeper like chemistry, personality. Like, they didn't actually get to know each other. And so when he's saying like, we have more layers to peel back, she's like, oh, what more layers? I'm beautiful. You got money, you know, and, you know, we're just gonna, I need to be your number one. There's nothing more that needs to happen. Whereas Alexis, she's been putting in time.
She has been. Yeah.
She's been talking to him on the phone, whispering sweet nothings, showing the depth. You know what I'm saying? She's been, you know, not only beautiful, but she's been bringing substance to the table, okay? So all I'm saying is, don't get it twisted, ladies, okay? The beauty, the light skin, there's got to be more to you than that. That's all I'm saying.
Love that. Love that summary. Love that summary. Anu, and then we'll let Kenny go. Anu, what's your thoughts on the Frick and the Frack and the Stacys?
Yeah, I mean, Stacy 1, Stacy 2. Like, I'm not a big fan of Frick and Frack. I think they needed to be split up. I'm glad the guys like eliminated one of them, because like I could have seen them both staying on another week, and it makes sense. It makes sense for them to let one of them go to see exactly what Santa's about. In regards to Stacy, I understand why. She's a beautiful girl. Don't get me wrong. I understand why she was cast for the show. But this actually episode, like if we're talking about in depth, I didn't see that. I didn't see a partner to be with. I saw a mom character, or I saw like my best friend coach. Like, she was telling the guys what they should do. Like, I need you to go talk to my friend Chrysanthemum. Like with Ron, like he's like coaching Ron, or like even coaching Chris. Like, Chris, you need to man up. You need to be aggressive. And like, to me, it's like, if this is a game show and we're out here to look for mates, like, why are you help? I don't need a coach. I have friends for that. I have the panels of the guys to talk to. Why are you taking on yourself to do that? So I guess maybe, as Maria said, that mother role that she put on herself kind of worked against her this episode. And I think it goes into what happened with last week up to this week. I think I'm glad she went home. I don't think the reasons why she went home, it was more of the clash of her opinions with the other contestants. Because again, most of them didn't. If we look at Ron wasn't really interested in having an in-depth conversation with her. And all the information that Ron was getting from with Stacy and Chrysanthemum, they were sharing information back and forth together. And if that was happening, how were they not able to pick up that Ron and Alexis have been communicating effectively for this long? Because that's what caught me as a shock, and I wrote that down when I rewatched again. It's like they've been talking for weeks, and they've been building an actual relationship or actual rapport. Why wasn't that happening with you? Like, why was it? It was like, do you like my friend? You like me? It was like almost a high school lunch table type of vibe that I was getting. And like, what was happening on the scenes? Because it wasn't just Ron. All the other guys co-signed, yeah, we don't like her. We don't like her around on the show. And for all the guys to say that at that point, it was just mind blowing to me. It'll be one thing, it was just one of the guys, but all five or six of them were able to say the exact same thing. So I don't think it was harsh that she went home. Honestly, she should have went home. Tressa is a different story. Hopefully we'll get that later in the game. She wasn't a good game player. The fact that for this episode and her lack of skills of associating with being social with other contestants was her detriment. And I'm glad that got capitalized in this episode.
Good points, Oni. Good points, Oni. Good points. Like that. Ken, talk to us, man.
Oh my gosh, there's so many thoughts that I have on freaking Frack. Whew. All right, let me try to collect and all right. So when I take a step back and I just look at why they even like paired together, because in such an obvious way, because I think we've seen other seasons of Ready to Love where you have two women pair up like that, Winter and Joy. I can't remember the.
I think he did as well. Reaver and
they've done it, but it's never been like a freaking Frack obnoxious, juvenile, in your face partnership, or at least the cameras didn't show that. Usually when I see women gang up like that or pair up like that, what it usually speaks to people is an insecurity. Like each of you individually on your own cannot stand on your own. It's not about like the friendship necessarily, but that it says you can't stand on your own, especially in this environment. Like you're supposed to be putting your best foot forward instead, and supposed to be putting your best foot forward, especially to the opposite sex, but instead you're pairing up with your girlfriend like in such an obnoxious way. It's not the pair up, it's not the friendship, because we saw the men in their tavern. We saw Joel and Jason, we saw to the point of tears. We saw that. But imagine if two guys were going to talk to girls and all the time they were paired up. Like, it's juvenile. That's just what it says. And it says no matter how grown you are in terms of numbers, that you need a crutch. You need a crutch. And every partner, and I'm not even going to say every man, but every partner wants to be able to bring their partner to like the office party or to the parents' place or to whatever, without having to always look over and say, you okay? You okay? You okay? You want to know that on their own, they can stand in an uncomfortable situation that they haven't been before. And freaking Frack shows that they can't necessarily do that. That's just me psychoanalyzing that. Even me in my personal life, right? I have friends that I'm really close with, but I'm very self-aware about, especially when we're in public, that it's not a freaking Frack thing. It's not, I don't want someone to look at me and say, hey, Kenny, where is, and then mention someone else if you're not related to me. Like we were not born together. Like we're not twins. I'm a grown woman on my own. Okay. So it's an awareness that, I don't know. It's just, ladies, it's something to note, because it may be subconscious. You may need your girlfriend, your wing woman, and that's okay. But sometimes, especially the more advanced in age, sometimes be your own, grown, and own your space, own your presence. And if a man is coming to you, he's not asking where is someone else. Now, you're in front of me, pay attention to me. That's one. Two. Another reason sometimes I see women pair up like that is like sometimes one is really hot and the other not so much. And so the one that is not so hot is trying to be hot by extension, by association with the other one. Mm-hmm. Now, between Chrysanthemum and Stacy, I have my own personal opinion as to who is actually hot and who not so much.
Who do you think's hot? Who do you think's hot?
I'm not doing that. After the show. But I have my personal opinion as to like who fits one or the other. But I think I'm echoing.
No, it's not you. You're good. Sorry,
okay. But I think there is someone who I think they are having a symbiotic relationship where one is leeching onto the other and trying to be cool with youth, and the other one is leeching onto the other and trying to be cool with looks. Like, I'm cute, I'm young, because they're not the same age. They're not. There's a bit of a gap there. They also are probably trying to establish some kind of social superiority to what Maria was saying, right? We're like, we're the two cute chicks, and so, like in middle school, we're gonna be, by extension, somehow the mean girls. Once again, it speaks to insecurity, especially in a position, a situation, a social experiment like this. You want to be an individual. You want to be confident. You want to have presence. You want to have a je ne sais quoi. You don't want it associated. You don't want an LLC. Okay, this is an individual. You don't want a whole company. You don't want a whole bunch of people. I also think, now, if you take it to the flip side, I also think Stacy may have been trying to keep an eye out on the competition. Because if she thinks Chrysanthemum is the only competition she has there, because all these other dark-skinned chicks don't really have much pull, or the caramel ones who aren't as light bright as me, I want to keep my eye out, keep your enemies closer. Keep your friends close and your enemies closer. She may have been like, I want to know who's Chrysanthemum's number one, or who is putting Chrysanthemum as their number one, because this is my competition. That could have been it. That's why I feel like that and production may have been why she was so fixated on who's your number one, and both of them were just like number one. It's like, okay, instead of talking about making this number one connection, why don't you just actually make the connection? Like, it was just, it was the weirdest thing. Last thing is, Stacy's used to being a trophy wife. Like, she's married to a baller. She's never had to develop. Look, Stacy, if you're out on the internet, feel free to come on Lil Black Book's show and debunk all of these assumptions about you. But I don't think she's ever had to really, develop a strong personality. She got married incredibly young and became someone's trophy, was put on a mantle. A trophy wife in the baller community, they're not marrying you for your brain, for your intellect, for your character, for none of that. So now she's probably been traded in for a younger model. I'm just saying, she's probably been traded in, and that's why now she's divorced and out to pasture. I know I'm being very harsh. It's just the reality of life. Mm-hmm. She's probably been traded in for a younger model, right? And so now she's having to, because she's more mature in age, and it shows, right? It shows. I'm just being real. It shows on her face that she's up there in age. She's now having to build a personality. She's now having to build character. And at this point, it's rough. What we're seeing is rough. Like, assertiveness is coming off as aggression. She can't really stand on her own, so she's pairing up with, the whole freaking Frack duo. She's not confident in her ability to win someone over, so she's constantly nagging as to who's the number one and number two. I mean, her son can't go to college because he's now her pseudo husband. I could go on and on, but I'll just stop there. I don't think Stacy's a horrible person. Don't get me wrong. I actually don't. I think she'd be cool meeting her in person as a regular person. But I think there's like some inner stuff that she just needs to take care of, because now she's now in the market with everyone else, and she got kids. So that whole trophy wife look and stuff, she's gonna need a little bit more something to back it up. Like, if it was only about the look, someone like Nicole Murphy, Eddie Murphy's ex-wife, who is banging, would have been off the shelf a long time ago. The thing about trophy wives is that they have an expiration date. That's really the thing. You have to have something else, if you want to be a woman of substance. Michelle Obama's not a trophy wife. She had substance, right? So just saying.
Yeah, I mean, I think you guys have made some really great points, and I think obviously the freaking Frack situation. Number one, it's the word is it does become, I would say, intimidating might be the wrong word, but it will come off like that, because when you're trying to have a conversation with somebody, you're not trying to talk to them and their duo. And this is just like this is like when we're 18 in a club, when you're trying to approach a girl and the girl is with her girls and she's refusing to split with the girls. It's like, bro, you are sweating at that point, like, yo, but I gotta say some cool stuff, because bruv, it's the 4 girls now judging, man. So it's like, it's no longer a solo thing. And that's exactly what they presented at the ball. And I think people just like, we're grown. Why are we doing that kind of stuff? Like, we're grown as adults, like we're past that. You know what I mean? So it showed a little bit of juvenile behavior. I'm not saying they couldn't be around each other. what it was is just that they literally locked arms together and became one the whole entire night. And it's like, yo, like, when you do that, you're forgetting why you're actually here. You know what I mean? Be friends. You can do that stuff, but you're at the ball. You're trying to mingle. You're trying to interact with people. You're trying to get to know them. You know, separate yourselves and come back again, meet each other. You see each other. You clink glasses and you say, "Girl, you're looking good," and you keep it pushing. Like, you never saw any of the guys doing locking arms because they're going out to try and bring these connects and try to build their connections. So I think that was a mistake on their particular part. I love the point that Layla put in there, though. I do believe the guy, David mentioned it, and I was like he was like, "Oh, Chris, you and the guys were saying about how they talk," and I was like, "So what if they talk? So what? What's the beef if they talk?" Right? And I think so. I think another part of it is that I think the guys were a little bit like, "Yo, the girls are talking like, you know, now you can't run game." Because Ron was running game. I'm sorry, Ron was running game. You telling one girl that she's the number one. You told Alexis that. Then you told Chrysanthemum she's number one. So now you got two girls thinking they're number one, and obviously then Stacy wanted to add herself and then ask if she's number one or whatever. But that you were running game, and I think some of the guys, you know, I'll be honest, some of us guys sometimes we be playing a little bit of a game here, trying to tell girls that you number one, and if the girls are talking, that game has to kind of stop. So I kind of felt that a little bit when David was kind of saying, I was like, what does that mean if they talk? What does that even mean? They talk. Yes, when women and men talk. You were talking in a tavern, you were chatting a lot. So listen, you know, we talk. It happens. But then I think with Stacy's actual behavior, I do believe she was privileged. It happens when you grow up pretty. You grow up pretty according to society's norms. We did talk a little bit about colorism. The added part of it is that it creates a preference that is someone benefits from, which is that she has benefited from being the pretty girl in society. And when you get used to that level of you're always chosen. Is someone calling me? Hold on 2 seconds. Please stop calling me, boy. Thank you. Sorry. People calling me and rubbing up my mic, fam. I know. Listen, sorry, guys. Someone was trying to call me. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning. Someone better be dying. So obviously, she's always got pretty privilege. Like, so she's been pretty for a long time, and I think Kenny kind of alluded to this as well. It's like when you then get told you are not the pretty girl in the room anymore, that must be a shock. I think that's why that whole I feel cheated and everything came out. I was like, I've never been at the bottom before. You're right, you ain't been at the bottom before. And now you find yourself in a situation where you are at the bottom and you don't know what to do because you've never been at the bottom. And I think Kenny kind of summed up really beautifully. When you have been pretty, you don't have to formulate a personality of depth. You have a personality. It doesn't have any depth. And the reason is because you've always sailed past on your looks, right? And now it's a really weird, because I think normally in Ready to Love, we do see that the looks does kind of get people through. But I think this particular season, we have seen a little bit different. That's not cutting it no more. You know what I mean? So I think in other seasons, she might have got through a little bit further. But on this particular season, where I think people are a bit more aware and a bit more in tune and trying to look a bit beyond just the facial features of people, I think they're seeing a bit beyond that. I do think, though, because she aged in the face a little bit as well, that also didn't play in her favor. See, she probably could have got away with a little bit more if the face was pulling. I'm just going to keep it 100% real, because you're in a competition, right? So we're now looking at all the faces, all right? The person you were clinging your arm to, their face doesn't look as mature as yours. I'm trying to be very like PC. I don't want to be, because we're talking about, this is a real thing, because we're talking about, this is a competition. So people are going to look and judge, right? So the more pretty you are, the more you get away with when you say certain things and do certain things. So you clinging to somebody who, Chrysanthemum, who looks, I would say arguably a little bit younger than you, arguably, yeah. You and then you do the mom stuff like Oni was saying, then it just like all of it comes together and presents this image that she's a mom. And that's literally what Ron said at the end. So I do think it's something that maybe Stacy can work on, that, you know what, let me work on within me now and just try to build something within me. Because I honestly, I was confused by the son thing. I don't know if you guys want to touch on that. I'm still confused by the son not going to college. There would be never a choice. I would look at my son like, you are mad. I don't care if your mom's not at home. You're going to college. So that for me, yeah, I don't know. What's your thought on that?
I don't understand that either. So I'm not even gonna like really truly psychoanalyze it, because I think that's something for Iyanla to go work through 10 years from now, when the son is married and his wife is saying my mother-in-law is terrorizing us because blah, blah, blah. I just thought that was ridiculous that her son isn't going to college because he needs to be by her side. But there just seems to be a very interesting, for lack of a better word, I will use interesting dynamic between her and her kids. Because remember when she was told that she is not ready for love, she's like, my kids are rooting for me. Like, my kids are expecting me to bring them back someone who's going to do this. I'm like, did your kids send you to the grocery store to buy a man? Like, what is happening here? Did you guys have a family meeting and y'all came up with a list of what this man is supposed to be? And you're like, what is going on here? Like, you've never just like walked out of your house and gone on a date, had coffee with someone. It's like, no, you guys all sat down and you decided this is it for us. Like, I'm like, your kids are a little too enmeshed in your romantic life. It needs to be boundaries. Boundaries need to be put in place. But that, when she said that, I was just like, okay, sis, you, or was it your son who was just like, I need to be let go of this role so I can go to college? Mama needs to get a man. Like, what is going on here? Like, we need to, once again, Stacy, please come to this channel. Like, we really need to understand, because I know that these are very harsh critiques, so it could be off-putting. We only see what we see. Like, probably a lot is left on the floor. And, you know, you could give us some additional context, but like, you need to clarify the statement about your son not going to college and why it seems like your kids sent you to the grocery store, aka ready to love, to find them a man. And it is so heartbreaking that you're returning empty-handed. Like, you're never going to leave the house again after that night. Like, I don't understand. Clarify.
Maria, do you want to talk to that? Do you want to?
Yeah, I think that it's like, you are ruining your son. Okay. Your son is going to have psychological issues with forming healthy relationships with women because of your codependency with your son. Not only is he probably a mama's boy at this point, which have its own set of issues, but he may even start resenting you. And as a result of resenting you, he's going to project that onto other women. Okay. And this happens a lot to men, you know, and that breeds like incel energy, you know, and incel energy is women hating energy. Like, I just think that, you know, I don't even care about Stacy at this point. I'm more concerned about her son. He's too young to be like the man of the house in the way that she has described it. Like, he needs to be out there being young, being free, living his life, experiencing different things, you know, dating. I don't know what his dating life is like, but how is it that you couldn't go to college? You ruined this boy's life because he felt like you needed him. The whole point of a parent is to make sure that their kids have the best opportunities in life so that they can grow and be independent and go into the world and be free. But you've robbed him of that. And I get it. You went through like a very hard divorce, all of that. You were emotionally impacted by that. And I get that. That's a very hard thing to go through, especially probably at the level that you were at. But for you to not have more discernment on what level of exposure your children need to have to your own trauma is is very concerning to me. I don't know how many kids she has, but like she needs to, hopefully she learns from like this whole situation. Hopefully she does listen to some of this critique. Because I really think that for like maybe she messed up on the older son, but hopefully for the other kids she can do different by them, because we can't have that. And yeah, like the fact that they're like almost more desperate than she is for her to find a man means that they feel in some type of bondage by the fact that you don't have a man and you are burdening us with all of the emotional distress that a man should be taking on for you. She's probably stifling them, just like she was kind of stifling the chrysanthemum situation. Like, why are you trying to make sure chrysanthemum, like, girl, like your priorities are messed up. They're messed up in your dating life and they're messed up in your family dynamics. Like, yeah, I think she just needs to get it together, and I think she needs therapy. I didn't hear her talk about going to therapy. I heard her say that she needed a moment of healing after her divorce or whatever, but I didn't hear therapy. I think she really needs to go to therapy. And I think she needs to free her son. Like let him go to school. Let him figure out his
and can I say something? I know Ono hasn't gotten a chance. I'm just gonna just quickly just say, I think she has good bones though. Like on a positive note, like she has good bones. Like the stuff that we see with David is because she detected it. Like she called it out. She has good bones. So that's why I'm gonna give her the benefit of the doubt and say that there's probably quite a few things that triggered the desperate move that she was doing that we didn't get to see. Also knowing that, like what Alexis Fly was saying, there's a lot of behind the scenes texting and calling. There's probably stuff that was happening there, maybe that, triggered the desperate moves that we saw. Maybe if I'm taking what's the name of that lady that you interviewed, Ida. And she was saying someone was rubbing on her booty. Maybe some people were setting Stacy up with these expectations that she was their number one. I'm gonna try to give her some of that, benefit of the doubt, because we saw tendencies of being a little aggressive, but it was like almost a night and day switch.
Yeah.
I still put my foot on her neck with the whole son not going to college thing, with the whole my kids are rooting for me, and then later on saying my kids are going to be so disappointed I didn't bring them back a man who's going to buy them a puppy and blah 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 blah. Right? I give her a side eye for that, because that's some healing, that's some brokenness, that's some inner work that needs to take place. But I do think in her is a good woman. Like she has some good bones in there. I'm just gonna say that.
I know Onu still needs to go, but I don't know, Kenny. Like something about her, like the vibe that she gives me. I don't know about the good bones theory. Even like the way she treated KG just gave me a little bit of rottenness. And with this whole freaking frat thing, like it's not even just about like, oh, like, they're teaming up and she's all worried about chrysanthemum. It was a dynamic and an element of drama starting, right? Like you are giving off like a drama starting energy where it's like you're repeating things that people didn't say, or like over exaggerating the situation. Like the whole situation with what's his name? The guy that wanted the passwords?
David.
I get like where she's coming from with that. Like I would be a little bit but like she did like surmount it into like a whole narrative, and so that left an impression on the men's mind, on his mind. And then like now you're like trying to he said she said about who's number one and who's number two, and then you're trying to tell dude like, this is how you like it's just too much. I don't know her well enough to say she has bad bones necessarily, but I'm not at the place where like I'm like saying that she has good bones, because I've just seen her type before, dealt with her type before, and it's a little bit mean girl aspects to it that I don't quite gel with in my personality, but that's just me. But I see what you're saying, Kenny.
On you, we want to add.
I think the ladies hit it on the head. I think there's some codependency with her children come into play here. And if you go to last week, if we take away her conversation last week with David, from the start up until now, what conversation or what connection has he made with any of the contestants up to the show? Because I'm looking for it and I couldn't find it. Whereas with Chrysanthemum, at least she was able to make connections. It just felt like, again, that motherly vibe, her coaching, telling people what to do or not to do. She's not telling us what Stacy wants until the last episode. I'm sorry, until she got kicked out and we get her little 3-minute speech or 3-minute speech where it's like, my family, my children are going to be disappointed with me. I'm looking to find a man to help me with my children, which again, that's tough to deal with. But I don't understand exactly why she came on the show. Now, if we're looking just by looks, honestly, she's probably one of the top 3 beautiful women on the show this season, maybe. And if that was her calling card, if you take that away, there was no conversational substance that I can recall. Maybe I'm missing something, but I don't think it is. Like the conversation with David, I think both parties are to play there. There's things that I didn't like on both sides, so I'm gonna take that away. The fact that all the guys were able to call her out on this, like halfway through the season, that to me is a troubling aspect. And again, the children maybe brings more baggage to her. So when you compare her to Chrysanthemum freaking Frack, she's gonna be now weighted down before. And again, like I see why they did what they did. I don't agree with everything, but again, it just felt like she wasn't there for the reasons where the other guys are there for. She's not right. I mean, I don't think she's ready for a relationship. She definitely needs therapy. And as Kenny said, we need to figure out a lot more exactly why she's on the show, and exactly, again, why is the son not going to college? Everyone wants to know. I want to know now, like, what's going on here? Because again, something's not making sense. I want this to make sense.
Good points. Love that. And do you know what? I'm seeing some of the comments in the comment section, so I want to address some things. We on this channel go deep. If you're not here for depth, leave. I'll keep it 100 real, because I'm not spilling no tea. I'm not here to give you surface talk. If you want surface talk, there are other channels that can do that. We're here for depth. The reason why we're talking about Stacy is there's a very important thing the ladies mentioned, and Onu touched on this. This young man that's not going to college, you're calling it's not deep. It's deep. Right? It's deep because the way she told the story, she told it, he's staying because, he knows what I've gone through and he's helping me. No, darling. As a mother, as a father, let me say as a father, even as a brother, I'll be encouraging my brother. Listen, no, you have the opportunity, go to college. The reason why you've got to go is because what's going to happen is that, as the ladies have said already, codependency. I can see the woman in the chat, they're like, no, it's not that deep. It'll be deep when it's your daughter that's dating this boy who doesn't like women. Because that's what they end up being. They end up being the guys who don't like women. They end up being the guy that doesn't know how to treat a woman very correctly because he's always loved his mother. His mother's become his girlfriend, right? So it's that deep. So it's not a little thing of you didn't go to college. It's deep because of what it symbolizes. This is where it starts. You see, we're waiting till we get to now. We're on the show and we see some really crud behavior from a man, and we're like, yeah, he's a dick. Yeah, he's an idiot. But it started somewhere. So that's why we're saying that it's deep. That's why we're touching on this topic and going deeper, so that you guys can understand it. So that so any of us who are in a similar situation, we don't make the same mistake. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it's your child. It's your child. Like it's deep. Like that boy, especially men as well, you let him go to college. Even if he says he wants to stay, you say, no, I know you want to work in a business, go to college. When you finish college, if you want to come work for me, fine, but go to college. Go and gain some independence, go and learn some experience, go out into the big bad world and see how it is. If you don't want to come back after you finish college, cool, come back. Do you know what I'm saying? But first and foremost, go out there. Do you know what I'm saying? Go out there, because that young man needs to learn and experience things on his own. There needs to be a level of independence. This is the guy that you're now cussing later on in life. He wants women to take him out. He wants women to pay for him. This is the guy. This is going to be the guy, you know, that is going to turn into. And it starts from these little building blocks. This is what this channel, we talk about the root stuff, right? So for me, it's deep. It's deep. And I know some people are saying don't send your fans away. No, I would. I want people who are going to learn. I don't want people who are going to be for surface, because it doesn't benefit anybody. It doesn't benefit society. We need to go deeper and assess things on a much more deeper level. So we're not insulting Stacy. We're just trying to get to a place where we're trying to make people understand, look, there is depth that we have to get to each individual character. That's why we're doing the Khalil thing. Now we're talking about Stacy. Don't worry, we're going to talk about the rest of the people. We're going to talk about the rest of the people. There's going to be some other things in there as well. Don't worry. There'll be enough time for you to enjoy. Don't worry. You get me? So, yeah, I loved what the lady said today. I loved what you lot said about his son and stuff, because it wasn't about necessarily Stacy being bad, but it's more of a case of, listen, he needs to go off to college and learn some independence. And I think that'll be good for him. Obviously, let's talk about, because obviously in the midst of Chrysanthemum and Stacy, yeah, Ron was in there. You know, Ron was in there. Ron was serving him up, chefing him up. You know, he has some great connections with Alexis. He has connections with he has connections with Chrysanthemum. He had connections with Stacy as well. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna lie to you, I never saw it coming. Okay, I thought he'd be out early. Yeah, because our whole chat about I want a son early or whatever, which hasn't really dropped whilst he's been in the show. So I think he's been very, very smart about that. I thought he'd be out early, but he's turned it around, and he's looking good. You know, he's looking good. He's looking good in some shape or form. I don't know what why are you not looking at me like for? Kenny and Maria looking at me like, what? Do you have a different opinion, Flo? Let's get it out there. Ken, go. You looking at me like you had a different opinion, so go for it. I like that. Ron, huh? You want to go the other way? You want to go Maria? All right, Maria, go. Go for it.
I think, you know, after that first episode when he was, you know, on the chopping block, that shook him. And he changed his approach when it came to talking to the ladies, you know, which I think was a good move on him. However, I am seeing player vibes from him, with him telling everyone they're number one. Why do you feel the need to tell anyone what position they are? Like, and first of all, it's condescending. Because if I'm a number one, that means you have a number two. And, you know, I don't like that. But it's a competition, so I guess, you know, that's what we can expect. But for you to vocalize that, it's tasteless a little bit. But you know, that being said, I mean, Ron, I called this the first live, like, he's not bad looking at all.
He listen, with that beard, that connect the face jawline.
Look,
what a handsome man.
Ron is not bad looking.
Damn.
I'll just say that. And his little salsa dancing, I'm like, okay, Ron, I see you. You know, you got a little, you know, you got a little rhythm to you, whatever. So if he plays his cards right, he can, you know, he could go far potentially. And he's bringing a provider persona to the table. Like, I see why the women are kind of going after him, flocking after him a little bit. But I still think he has a mentality that he needs to change. You know, he still is, he still has that player persona, like I said. And, you know, I still think he has some type of like insecurity up in there, because it's like, why do you have to tell women what position they're in? And he's doing that so that he can reel them in emotionally, right? But then you got the game messed up because you're acting like they don't have the women cave where they talk to each other. So you're not being very smart. So there's that. The whole him and Stacy thing, I can see that. You know, I could definitely see them being a thing. Yeah, they just give me those vibes. That's really all I have to say about him. I mean, I think that he needs to, if he like coming out of this episode, there were some red flags that the ladies will then talk about, and that's going to put him in kind of a precarious situation. But I think he's probably not going to be the next one to go home. I think the Pawpaw guy, the chef dude, is probably going to be the next one to go home. But if he doesn't get his act right in terms of being more intentional with who he's talking to and stop trying to do the player role, then he could salvage it. But he just needs to be careful.
I hear that. Kenny, you want to wait or you want to go for it? You want to go after Onu?
Let Onu go because we tend to dominate. So let Onu go first.
Go for it, Onu.
I'm not impressed by Ron. I don't think he has a brain. I don't understand why people are infatuated with Ron. Let's go back to last week with Chrysanthemum. Chrysanthemum pretty much told Ron what type of guy she wanted. Ron said, okay, yes. And just, oh yeah, I want a family man traditionalist, I want a wife at home, etc. And Chrysanthemum bought it up and like somehow she got in her head that she was the number one. And again, last week, I was like, okay, I can't believe it's this easy to tell when it comes to dating, that you can just tell if the woman tells you exactly what type of guy you want, you shake your head, yes, she's already swooped up moving forward. And you can see that moving into this week when he starts talking to other women. And we now find out that, hey, he's saying the exact same thing to other people. I don't think he has any game. I don't think he has limited game. He's not very suave. And again, he looks the part. Yeah, he might be tall. He might have that beard, stocky people. I see why people might find him aesthetically pleasing. But if we just go down to substance, what is he telling these women that it's just like, they're saying like, hope, pick me. It's like almost pick me. Why are you not picking me? That's what I got from Ron moving into this week. And then even if we look at his caliber of what he's saying to these women, I'm like, compare his moves to Jason. It's like Ron does not have any game to him. Jason has game and a half. When we talk about Jason, we can go back and further. Ron is the type of person that he's just trying to find someone a pretty woman that can fit in his life and move forward. And if that's the case, that's fine. I'm not giving him he deserves no credit. So people give him credit. I don't understand why. I don't see exactly what he has told these women what he wants. He's literally letting the women tell him what to say back to them. And when he gets put on the spot, he doesn't know what to say. It's like the meme where the little kid's like blah blah blah. That's what I'm getting from him. Like honestly, like I don't get this. Everyone's looking for assertiveness. Everyone's looking for telling the women what they want. Like the type of prototypical traditional man that people are looking for. I don't see none of that in Ron. If someone can tell me this, please let me know.
You don't like Ron. Aki Ollie doesn't like Ron. I hear that still. Kelly, go for it. Oh, Ricky,
see, I'm so glad I just gave on the table. I'm just like, go for it.
Ollie was slicing and dicing. Love it.
Let me say, you know what I don't like? Ron. All right. Okay, someone already said one of the things I wanted to say about Ron teaching the salsa class. Like, what in the broke show is going on? What is up with the budget? Why is Tressa said he got the wrong instructor? Like, what? Why are we doing this? I don't understand.
Are we impressed by his dance moves?
No, we're not. Ron said I like sexy salsa. I'm like, what other salsa is there? Salsa is a sexy dance. Like, stop. No. Ron is a hot mess. I don't think he's cute, but beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So that doesn't mean anything. It just means I don't think he's cute. He is leading. He has been leading with the fact that he's a provider. What the hell does this man do? Does he have a private jet? Like, if he is not like, if he doesn't have $1 million in equity, in assets, and I'm not talking cash in the bank, I'm talking real estate, blah, blah, blah. This whole I'm a provider talk, he needs to zip it. Zip. If he doesn't have at least $1 million in assets and equity, zip it. Because otherwise, what are you leading with? People have money in America. Like, People have money in the world. There's always stop. It's not a personality trait to be this, I have money. I don't know. It's annoying because I'm like, how much is it that he's talking about when he's like, oh, this provider, I got it. I'm like, what are we talking about though? Like what actual numbers are we talking about? Because if you're talking to a woman who's earning high six figures, she's gonna compare it to whatever you're talking about. So it's not a personality trait, and people need to stop it when they do that. If you're a provider, show it. Show that you can provide, and stop talking about it. I hate audio money. Like, I want to see the money. Stop talking about it. And then the last thing I wanted to say was, look, the biggest red flag for me and Ron is the fact that he's bonding with Alexis Fly. Okay? Let's just let that breathe for a second. This is Alexis Fly that makes sexual innuendos. She's pretty much Troy in female form. And they're talking into the wee hours of the night. So they're not talking about philosophy, psychology, and all the deep stuff in life. They're talking crap. So if he's like, what did he say to nephew Tommy? He said, the way we move is the way you would move in a relationship. Alexis Fly. I rest my case.
I mean, I think him and Alexis Fly make a great couple.
I do too, Kojo. Honestly, I think they would make a cute couple.
I think they would.
Honestly, I don't think Ron is ugly at all.
He's a good-looking guy.
Yeah, I just don't think he's ugly.
He's better than Jacob.
Body, the beard is chiseled. The only thing I don't like about him is that lisp. That kind of makes me cringe a little bit. Like, he needs to like some speech therapy and then he'll be fine. But like, I don't know. Like, I still think, to you guys' point, I think that he still has more work to do in adjusting his mentality and like, the way he thinks about relationships in the situation, because he is showing me red flags in a lot of areas. However, like, just from like a more surface level, superficial standpoint, he's not a bad looking dude, in my opinion. And I think that works well with Alexis. I think they have good chemistry, whatever. Yeah, that's just my thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, I
Kojo, not to cut you off, but
yeah, Alexis,
Alexis Fly in current form, like if Alexis Fly and him on just looking and on paper, maybe they're cute, but Alexis Fly in current manifestation, with how she moves and her crassness, and really,
who else would be a good match for Alexis other than Ron?
No one is a good match for Alexis in the world, period, until she does the work that she needs to do, is my point.
That's why Ron likes her, because in the same place.
He's okay with the way her personality is. Like, she is doing the sexual innuendo. That's who
and he
she
loves
is.
it.
That's how she wants to come across. He likes that. So let them be happy.
All right. I'm actually taking them seriously. That's why. That makes sense. I'm actually like trying to take them seriously. I'm trying to take them seriously and make them a mature couple in my head, which is why I'm not canceling, but which is why I'm disqualifying
them. They're both
them.
not mature.
Gotcha.
That's why they work. Because she even said like AJ was one of her top. I'm like, girl, you better stick with Ron.
I got
AJ
you.
is not with that.
Gotcha. No. Sorry, Kojo. I totally cut you off, but I just I was trying to make them a mature couple in my head, but now I see what you guys are saying. I take it back.
Hey, listen, I got no beef with that, man. Flo, I like that. I don't know. I mean, but you guys are both of you are making really good points, and I think my thing was that when he made a comment about Chrysanthemum being shallow, I mean, not even shallow, she has no depth. And I was just like, bro, how are you dropping those bars almost with her ear close to you as well, and dropping that to Alexis? So now, my issue was this: Ron, you're not even playing the game properly. You drop this bar to Alexis. She takes us back to the group, okay, and says basically, it's definitely me and Ron, because Ron thinks that Chrysanthemum has no depth. You will never go into Chrysanthemum again. Like, bro, like, think about, like, it was never, like, when she asked the question, it wasn't even a trapping question. He just had to be like, well, I'm trying to get to know her, I'm trying to get to know you, that's it, and done. Instead, it's almost as if he wanted to impress her, and to assure her that you're my number one by saying, oh, Chrysanthemum's got no depth. Well, if she's got no depth, why are you talking to her, bro? Why are you talking to her? Why are you rubbishing her to another woman? If I'm Alexis, I'm shooketh. You know what I mean? I'm shook. If I'm Alexis, I'm shooketh because he's talking to her like this, but he's still talking to her, guys. Yeah, that was his number one not long ago. Okay, right? So it's like it may have boosted Alexis's ego for a short while, and I'm surprised. Alexis was like, "I don't compete." No, you don't compete when you're about and you can lose. Don't lie. You do compete. Okay, like she was like, "Oh, I don't compete for men." No, Alexis. Don't play. You don't compete when you think there may be a chance for loss. There's a difference, right? But he's assured you now, so you see gonna be cool. But Ron definitely has played a little bit of a game. He's told one girl that number one and told another girl that number one as well. And so I just think to myself, Ron, like, yo, like, bro, you gotta be very careful. Like he was doing all right, and then when he dropped those bars today, I said, bro, they're gonna nuke you later on. They're going to nuke you. They start talking.
Yeah,
you're finished.
Ron is completely like that was incredibly immature. Ron could not talk to me. I'm going to personalize it. Ron could not talk to me because I am the last woman that you will talk to and try to big me up by trashing another woman.
Yeah.
And also by watching that, I lost the smidge of respect that I had for Alexis Fly. I was like, girl, go fly on a wall somewhere. Because the fact that you could giggle at a man trashing another woman in his attempt to big you up, you are even more insecure than I thought you were. Like I thought it stopped at your fashions. I thought your messiness and lack of taste stopped at the fashions. But no, I'm like, you're actually worse than I thought you were. You thought that was funny? No, that was not okay.
That's not how you play the game, guys.
It's not how you do life.
Alexis Fly loves to make all these declarations, but the actions, you know what I mean? Like, you're like, I don't compete, but you came on a game show to compete for love. Like, make it make sense. And yeah, like, he is giving player vibes. Like, you don't need to talk to one girl about the other girl, period, whether it's good or bad, period. Yeah, he's trying to be a player, but he don't got the game down pat. So I'm like, what kind of women are you used to dealing with?
I'm hearing you on that. Ron, game etiquette, okay? Don't talk about other women, trash them to another woman, okay? All right? Because unless you're guaranteeing yourself you're going to stay with this woman, don't do it, bro. Okay? Game etiquette, all right? Game management. That's how you got to do it, okay? All right? Yeah? Next time. All right, so obviously there were other particular people that were on the show. Let's talk a little bit. Let's change a little bit narrative from the Frick and the Frack and the Ron triangle love. Let's talk about obviously KG and Amber. I mean they talked a little bit, and he said obviously his marriage is necessarily meant to be the top. And I don't know. I haven't done my review, but when I watched it, I was gonna say, did she change her answer in her head after he said, I don't really care about marriage? Because I thought the way she was toning her questions, I thought she was going to say, I like marriage. And when he said, I don't really care, then she was like, yeah, me too, I don't really care. And I thought to myself, does she not really care? I don't know if that's the truth. I don't know. Just the way she started off the conversation, I felt like, but maybe she doesn't care about marriage. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. What's your thoughts? KG and Amber, good, bad, or good, bad. Let me hope. Onu, go for it first. You go for it, Onu. Go for it. Oh, you're on mute, my brother. Sorry.
Well,
right,
I like it. I like them together. I like KG and Amber together. That conversation was kind of troubling. Like, we need a lot more explanation.
Yeah.
And I understand what KG's point is. Marriage shouldn't be the obstacle. You want to build a companionship. You want to feel like, hey, this person, companionship part, someone you can go to battle with every single day. Just getting married isn't the goal. And if you look based on his actions, I can see that. However, it's going to be interpreted the wrong way if you don't explain yourself, and he really didn't. Because he's like, oh, if you want to get married, get married. And I'm like, okay, no one will, I would not say that. Let's put it that way. Because again, I wouldn't say that because again, it's like, what are we doing here? Why are you dating, getting to know someone if the goal isn't to get married? Now, should that be the only goal? No, there should be other things about life, and that's where I think he was going to his explanation, and I think that's what he was trying to insinuate. Again, he needs to explain that a little bit more further, but I'm gonna fill in the lines here. Amber is selling herself short if a guy's going to tell you that, hey, I don't want to get married, I'm just here just to have fun, see where things go, and there's no destination, there's no goal goalposts, there's no goal. You compare this situation versus last season with Nyla. That was a big divide here. Now, it wasn't like the finances kind of broke everything apart, but it's like, how do you want to build your life together is the key thing. Like, what is KG actually looking for? Because honestly, he seems like he'll be okay with a girlfriend for the next 4 or 5 years. I'm not sure Amber wants that. So again, like, I need a lot more clarity here. The conversation that ended halfway through, I'm just like, there were more questions than answers. But it just seems like they're both on the same page. Yes, they have a great time together. They have fun together. It's very similar to the Nia situation from last season. It's just like, how do they handle these big obstacles before entering a relationship, especially if the relationship is the goal for KG, based on what he's saying now.
Sorry. Yeah, Kenny, go for it. Sorry, apologies.
KG and Amber. Look, they're just trying to be safe on the island. You know, this is a Survivor reference for anyone who watched the reality show Survivor. They're just trying to stay on the island between the both of them. I don't get the sense that they really believe all the smack each other's talking to the other. I think they just been like, you're my safety, I'm your safety. Boom. They haven't said it, but I feel like that's how they're moving, to be very honest. Amber just seems like I don't know. There's just something I can't put my finger on Amber yet. I'm not gonna use words to articulate what I don't really know how to articulate yet. So I'm not gonna put the wrong things out there. But there is something about Amber that I can't put my finger on. To what you were saying, when I watched that scene, I put it on mute. KG's talking. Amber's face is looking like what? What are you about to say? And then he says. He lands, and then she's like, okay, yeah, no, I get what you're saying. And whatever it is you're saying is what I want to. And I'm just like, okay. Even if okay, let's take for a second that is what, you know, what she feels like, that marriage isn't the goal, that the what is it, that the destination is the journey, and one of those platitudes that people say. Let's say that that's what it is. Why is she saying that to the man at the beginning of this whole journey? Why is she saying that we have no destination? We have no ambition. We have no goal. Why is she saying that? Because she's setting herself up for failure by saying that. Why is she saying that? Why can't she just take every day as it comes and continue to get to know this man? And if marriage is what's in their future, they talk about it. And if it's not, it's not. It's too early for her to say, I have no standards. I have no bar. There is nothing for you to meet. There's no goalpost for you to meet. It's too early for her to start selling herself short. Let's just assume that, okay, yes, she does agree with him. If that is what she really feels, because it is so unconventional, she's moving less than smart. That's what I'm saying. And also, I don't know. Does anyone else feel like KG has lost the light in his eyes? If we compare the KG with Nia with the KG right now, this is KG. If you cover KG's mouth, his eyes are just dead. And then you uncover his mouth, he's like, I really like her unconventional views. And I really like who she is. And I really think she is da-da-da-da-da. But from here up, he's dead. He doesn't like Amber like that. He likes her enough. He likes her enough to manifest her in a meditation. He likes her enough to do a mantra with her. He likes her enough to do all these dates with her. He likes her enough. But KG's not. Either he doesn't like her, or he's not emotionally available. But no one's home. I feel like both of them, no one's home.
I hear that. Maria, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I just feel like KG hasn't learned much from last season because I feel like he's still going back to putting all his eggs in one basket.
That's good. Mm-hmm.
However, I do think that this is a safer choice than maybe Naya because they've had some of the more difficult conversations up front. Plus, he has the advantage of having been exposed from last season, so Amber pretty much knows what she's getting with KG. I think I agree with Kenny that they're playing the safe game of like, okay, like you like me, I like you, so we're gonna keep each other in the game. Uh, but I agree, like, I don't know how authentic Amber is being. You know, KG still gives me vibes like I don't know how much money he makes, but he just seems very content with his girl making more than him, and I just don't know how I feel about that. You already know, you already know how
There's
I
nothing
am.
wrong with that.
So
Very content.
yeah, I mean, it's just I don't know, like she's a DA and everything, and she's probably really passionate about that. So she probably just is looking for someone who's gonna be an emotional
A
support system
Stedman.
for her. Yeah,
Yes.
like, and that's all she
And
needs.
KG can do that.
Yeah, and so I think I feel like they may be going through the motions now, but if they are committed to actually making it more of an authentic connection and they just stick to each other, like I think that they could actually make a cute couple. I just, I hope that, they can fulfill each other.
I hear what you're saying. I think I think KG is trying to get to know other people. They just don't want him. They just don't want him. KG is blessed that he always finds one person that likes him, but it's like it fizzles. So it's like, because the same thing actually happened last season. He actually tried to get to know Alicia, and we actually missed it. She shaded him with colorism hard, said he was too dark. Oh, yo, missed that. Yeah, she shaded him with colorism. He said it was too dark. He actually said it on the live. That's the reason why she didn't want to be with him. Yeah, he said it
Wait, who
himself.
said that? Wait, who? What?
Alicia from last season. Yeah. Yeah, no word of a lie. That's why she didn't want to be with him, because she was too dark. Honestly, no word of a lie, bruv. It's mad. Yeah. We all missed it, but don't worry, it's too late. By then, he had been gone. I've been trying to get him on the show. He has been. He's been trying. He's not being accepted and not been coming on. So
Wait, isn't Alicia,
Alicia,
the one that had all the kids?
Yes,
Wait,
because he was
she
trying to
was
get to know
going
her.
after.
He was trying to get to know her.
No, but how is she going to say that when she was going after the other guy who was dark skinned?
Ryan.
Like, all the guys on the show was dark skinned.
Yeah, it was, but KG's darker.
At least she was ignorant, though. She was like, "This is my real hair." She was just straight ignorant, and she was also pregnant, drinking alcohol. Like, yeah, no.
It's mad. Yeah, it's peak. So, but I think he has a problem. A problem with KG is that he finds it hard. This is not a game for him. This is not a game for him. This is a competition that's not for him, because you can't connect to just one person and stick with it. You have to be able to flow. I would have the same problem, because once I've liked somebody, I'm not a thing that likes to do. I'm liking everybody. Do you know what I mean? Like I that's why this thing is not for me. But if you're gonna go on a show, you have to be ready and open to be able to have more connects with people. I mean, he did try again with Alicia. Sorry, Alicia, not Alicia. I've been saying her name's in my head now. Stacy. Stacy. He tried to. Yo, Alicia's in my head. He did try to connect with oh my gosh, Stacy. Yeah, and Stacy basically threw him to the side again. So so it's like he's trying, but his personality type is not working on these particular shows. Both shows he's been. It's not worked out for him. I don't think it's the competition for him. So I think Amber, the only reason why I think she's sticking with KG, no one else is checking for her. Simple fact. No one's checking for her. Now we know that obviously they go to, we see next week's reunion, not reunion, next week's show where we see her kiss Joel on a cheek or whatever, right? That's the beginning of the end. Right, because the truth of the matter is, Amber had nobody who liked her. Now Joel's starting to show a bit of interest. Why would she not play? The only reason why she stuck there was because she was not getting any other play, and that's usually what happens when you don't have options. You play it calm, like, all right, cool, me and you. When suddenly options open, then we can really see who you really are. Do you know what I'm saying? And whether you really like that person. So I don't know why are you looking at me that for? Like, what's going on? Why are you looking at me that for?
I'm sad. Like, I'm just sad that, like, is no one else really interested in her? Because even I saw a future preview where AJ was talking to her and he was asking her if she's interested in him, and she was like, "No, you're too cocky," which I totally feel her on that. Like, I don't like cocky dudes, but like, I don't know. I don't know if there aren't guys interested in her. Remember, we're getting a 30-minute episode.
That's true as well.
Down. I just don't want to place that on her just yet.
Fair enough.
Okay, let's play hypotheticals. Let's jazz this up a bit. It's late at night. Let's wake folks up. Who do we think would be interested in Amber just by looking at the personalities?
A Joel could be interested in her.
I think he's gonna play with her, man. I don't think he's actually interested in her, man. That's a play thing. What, you think she's gonna come and look after your kids? That's not happening.
No. I think from maybe a more
attraction, yes.
Yeah.
But would he want to have that long? No.
No,
so that's out of the question. Yeah.
Oh no, what do you think?
Is it attraction level, or are you talking about like intellectual level?
Both. Just anything. Attraction, intellectual. Like, who do we think from the pool that we have would be on par with Amber other than KG?
Like, intellectually, like, I don't understand why Amber and Joel would not work together. Like, to me, that doesn't, like, next week's episode, like, I see if they spend time with each other, I can see that working out a lot better than KG, because again, I feel like there's something there something apart with like their more in-depth conversations, that with KG's is everything is just not superficial. Everything is just like, it's just the first layer. It's just, there's no in-depth going into it. Amber, one of the things that I got from her introduction episode, she termed herself an alpha woman. And like, to me, I don't think she's an alpha woman, because if that's the case, she'll be direct, she'll be going after men and not trying to fit in. I feel like with her, it's more question, but the way she's an articulate person. I get a lot of Brie vibes. She knows, she's always analyzed, she's always constant what's going around her. So she's going to try to put herself in the best situation possible. So if that's the case, why is this the best situation with KG to get together? Because to me, it doesn't align to what what she wants from. We know KG, we don't know what Amber has to say. Amber is co-signing everything KG is saying. And again, I need a lot more clarity there. Now, if she's this alpha woman, alpha ball player, why hasn't she
We can't hear you.
She shot her shot against I'm sorry, Josh. It's not Josh, Jason. To me, like, that would have been the boss play move. And I haven't seen that from her. So I'm like, okay, what's going on here?
I think one, those are all great points. I have I'm not disagreeing with anything. I think Amber calling herself an alpha woman, we all agree it's a misnomer. Like, no, she's not an alpha woman. I think what she meant to say is, I'm a feminist. I think that's what she meant to say. I think that's what she meant to say. Like, it was more so like, I believe in equitable treatment for men and women in the workplace, blah, 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 in relationships, because that's her shtick with KG. Now, she doesn't know that KG wants to be a sugar baby. That's the only thing she doesn't know. But but she's approaching KG's thing with like saying, I'm okay with splitting the bills 50-50 because we're both earning whatever we're earning. I agree that marriage is not the goal, because it's not this defining crown achievement for a woman. It could be the journey is, the destination, or whatever the heck people say. I think that's where she's kind of coming from. She's trying to come with an egalitarian mindset, but she's misnaming it alpha womanism. That's one. And then two, she's also coming from a perspective. I mean, she's coming from a perspective where her worldview seems very theoretical and not completely experienced or fleshed out. Because like I said, even if that is your worldview, the world that we do live in here, though, allows for those kinds of views when expressed to be taken advantage of. Like a man who wants to take you for a ride and waste your time and use your youth will latch onto a woman who says marriage is not the destination and waste her time. You get what I mean? So I'm not saying that's what KG is going to do, but I think I don't think Amber necessarily fully is operating in her power, in her womanness, in her experience of life. I think to Arnold's point, she's very much in her head, and a lot of the life that she's been living may be in her head. Very like theoretical. That's what I mean. But in terms of partners, to answer my own question, in terms of partners, I think Jason. Someone mentioned it in the comments, and I agree. Jason would be a good match. Now, the thing with Jason, though,
he's not looking at it that way.
Jason's looking for that 3-point shot. He's looking for like the woman that is beyond.
Buzzer shot.
Jason wants to click his arm when he's stretching. He wants to stretch. He said, "Expand my territory." Okay, that's Jason. He's praying the prayer of Jabez, okay? So he's going for women who would not even look at him, even if he was on fire. But I do think they would have made it more equally matched. I don't know necessarily yoked is the word, because I don't know what their ideals are, but I think they would have made a more compatible group or pairing.
No, I'm definitely hearing you. And definitely, obviously, I do think that Jason is... What you're going to see with Jason is he's going to try and shoot for the top and end up having to come down to the actual level where he's at. That, do you know what I mean? Because and I saw it as well when AJ when AJ said obviously he loved the fact that a woman forgives him and talking about Kyra. Jason's face dropped, and he knew his face dropped because competing against someone like AJ, he started to weigh his options up and said, I don't know if I can win this war.
But see, he's underestimating his
own
AJ. Like, I feel like he's good competition for AJ. Like, I feel like they're good, competition for Jeff. Because the thing about AJ is he's very good looking. Okay, he's got that on his side. But he's still, like, even though Kyra so-called forgave him, we don't know if she really did. Like, she may just be playing nice now to just, like, stay in the power position, keep herself, in the game or whatever. And he's still the most handsome man on the show. So her competitive side might be coming out in that regard as well. But best believe she did not forget the fact about... his cheapo behavior. Like, come on now. She was still doing innuendos about it when they were doing the little the cooking thing. She was like, "Oh, you salty," or something she said, and she was still alluding to that fact. And we know that she holds a strong grudge, So I think there's still some sketchiness about AJ. We know that he gives off cocky vibes. I think that Jason is he's also nice looking, but he seems like a good person. He doesn't seem like full of himself. Like, he doesn't come across as like, I'm the man, woo. He's more so humble about it. And I think that that's an endearing character trait, which I think that could give him a slight one-up on AJ, depending on the woman that he's dealing with. So, I think he's underestimating himself when it comes to his competition with AJ.
I don't think he's underestimating. I think he's estimating it quite correct. AJ's going to win. Listen, I'm going to be very honest with you. Obviously, I said this in my review. It hasn't come out yet. I said, if AJ does something astronomically mad, Jason's got an absolute chance. Absolutely. Right? On the show. After the show, Kyra dumps him. On the show, yes, he's got a chance. After the show, Kyra dumps him. There is not enough of him to hold this woman. For her, she does not see Jason as a co-equal. It's done out here. Yeah, right? She was like, it's done out here. He's so cute. When the woman says you're cute, Sir, back away. Tell her it's been lovely, it's been great, and I appreciate you for saying I'm cute. But let me move on. You say cute to someone when they're trying to chirp you at 18 and you're 25. Like, you're so cute, you're 18 and you're trying to chirp you. Oh, you look cute, you look cute, you look cute. It's not gonna happen. Why? Because you're youngin'. That's how you're looking at a person. Like, that's how she sees Jason. That's why I'm saying he's trying to shoot for Kyra, but he's not gonna get there in the long term. I think he probably could get Kyra on the show and they could end up together maybe at the end, right? Because it's a competition, by the way, and people want to stay to the end. But after the show, she dumps him. 1 or 2 months, maybe a bit of dating. He pays for dates. She dumps him. You feel me? Yeah, she gets rid of him. What?
Anu.
Anu wants to talk. You want to talk, bro? Sorry, Anu, go for it. Go for it, Anu.
What was the question we're saying? We're saying AJ is better than Jason?
No, we're not saying he's better. We're just saying that in terms of going for Kyra, that battle, who gonna win?
AJ's gonna win. We're saying AJ's gonna win.
I'm saying AJ's gonna win, hands down.
Well, I guess I was
why is AJ go? Okay, so
Maria,
why
who's fighting for man?
I don't know. I don't know, because AJ with his no money paycheck having self, I don't know. Like, I feel like AJ brings off a persona and a front that he's this like alpha male, but I don't know if he really is that. You know what I'm saying? Like, just because you look good and you're tall and you got this suaveness about you doesn't mean that you have that you know what I'm saying? I guess me personally, I like more of like the quiet confidence that a man had. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to do the most, but like for me, it's about your integrity, your character, you know, the way you interact, you know, and stuff like that. And that's what I guess attracts me to Jason over AJ. I don't like AJ because he does have this cocky vibe to him. Like, he's way more like cocky, and like he just thinks because he's so like smooth and like clean cut or whatever that he's just already got it in the bag. And I'm just like, but do you got the funds is what I want to know too. And like, what is your, you know, ethics like in your character? And like, I actually haven't really seen much of that from AJ. So I don't know if he would fight for men or not. I don't know if Jason would either. Like, there's still more to be seen in that regard. That's all I'm saying.
Sorry, Anu, go on.
I don't see why AJ's put on this pedestal. Like, I don't see good looking guy, the beard, yes, it helps in his benefit. But when you compare him to somebody like Jason, like, again, like, I don't see special him person be like the be all end all standard. If you compare his character between Jason and AJ, we know AJ treated Kyra like crap. So why are you going back to someone who treated you like crap? We just know women like to be with guys who treat them like crap. So I get that aspect over there. I think Jason's a little bit more sleek in his approach. I think he wants to get to know a person and actually build rapport, and I actually like that. And I like the way he moves around talking to other women. With AJ's like, again, it's like he knows he's a good looking guy. He knows he can get whatever he wants. He can say what he wants, but he can also do what he wants. And honestly, I don't see him wanting to deal with someone. Kyra's like, okay, like, she feels like, I think there's entitlement with her, with the way she moves, and that's moving into this dating scene. But again, like, over the past couple of weeks, I haven't seen her at all. Like, what's going on? Her being talked to, like, where's check? So again, like, I don't see why AJ is the number one draft pick or up at the list. Honestly, I still is probably the best looking guy of the bunch. But again, that's just me. This is my opinion. Everyone's up to their opinion. So hopefully, maybe, I don't know, maybe we can debate this again or later. I would like to hear what she said.
Thank you, Anu. That was good. Sinead, welcome to the panel. It's good to see you back here, shining. It's been a while. Still, sis, we appreciate you. Looking good. Looking
It's so
golden out
good
here.
to see you,
Looking golden.
Shanae.
Oh, it's so good to be seen, and it's so good to see all of you. I've missed you.
Hold on.
Thank you, Kojo, for letting me come on.
Oh my God.
Nothing but love. Nothing but love.
Appreciate you, Sinead. We are talking at the moment about Jason AJ situation because obviously Kyra is the source of these two boys. They're looking at Kyra and they're looking to nail her down, I guess. And I was saying, and I think we're discussing it, that I don't believe that Jason has enough to nail Kyra down, and I think AJ does, but he's not the best choice. But I don't know. What's your thoughts, Sinead?
I think Jason likes to shoot for the stars and still land in a pit field somewhere. And it could have to do with his own self-confidence and what he believes, because I think that's a lot of it. Like for this specific group of people, AJ has the aesthetic. He has what the women are drawn to. Jason could also have something that women could be drawn to. I don't know that he knows how to market it the best. So the way that he comes off is just a little like in that conversation with Liz, I was just like, she's out of your league, sir. Like, you know this, right? But he's going to shoot for it anyway. He doesn't want Alexis, but that's probably about where he needs to be. That's right about right. So, I don't know. I don't know. Jason probably has a lot of really admirable qualities. But just in comparison to AJ with Kyra, I don't see it working with AJ or with Jason for Kyra, but she's got to play the game, right? But yeah, I'm like, so it's not really going to work with Jason. Jason seems like she could probably steamroll over him. And with AJ, they're just going to continue to do this. I mean, you've already called this man El Cheapo on national TV. So how does he recover from that? And then how do you recover from that? Because if he's El Cheapo, who are you? El No Standardo? Like, make it make sense. Sis, what are we doing? What are we doing?
He's a producer now, and now he's about his business.
No. He's an engineer.
Oh.
Okay, he was a producer. He's now an engineer.
My bad.
That was Kyra's words. He's an engineer.
Right. He's an engineer, and now he's about his business.
Well, whatever he is this week, she called him El Cheapo. And I think that would hurt any man's ego. So I'm just wondering how are they really going to navigate those waters moving forward? And what's her real intention? Like, is there some get back here that's trying to be gained? I also wonder too, does production encourage certain dates to take place? Like, are you asked to go on a date with AJ, or are you really trying to reconnect with AJ? I don't know. I don't know if I'm really buying that.
Yeah, I'm going to piggyback. I know. Coach, can I talk? Sorry, I just jumped in there. All right, so piggybacking off of what Sinead said. Sinead, I missed you. I'm so happy to see you. But yeah, like, honestly, intention. If you just take a step back and look at the body language of Kyra on that date, she was a meme. She was the definition of a side eye. Like, AJ was talking to her and she was like, like, she doesn't believe what this man is saying. She's not interested in him truly. She's just playing the game. She probably, will maybe end up with him just to stay in the game, but she will not answer that man's calls, text messages, whatever, the moment production ends scene, because she will look ridiculous in front of her friends if she continues to hang out with this dude. Like, aesthetically, I can see how she can stomach it, because aesthetically, she's a taller girl, and usually taller girls, it's kind of hard to get a taller guy. I don't think AJ is attractive. He's not attractive to me. I can't stare at his face long enough. But aesthetically, like, the tallness thing, like, no matter how tall you are as a woman, generally you like to still feel petite, right? She will still kind of continue to entertain him, but she's not sold. Kyra is too smart. She's not sold. Her whole body language, the whole side eye she was giving, too smart. But she also knows that she's too much for Jason. Way too much. Like, she knows that if she was coming from a toxic place, she could probably run circles around the guy, completely break him, and ruin him for any woman going forward. But it doesn't seem like that's where she's coming from. But she knows if I'm to project for a second, I feel like she wants a healthy relationship with a bit of a challenge.
That's because she's a gamma.
You know, a healthy relationship with a bit of a challenge. Like, it's good, it's healthy, but you know, he chases her, she lets herself get caught, and he has a bit of mystery, but he's still open about a lot of areas. Like, it's like there's still a bit of work to be done, but then he's also like, for the stuff that's important to her, he's great. And he's tall and looks good. It's unfortunate that she has to entertain AJ, but I think that's precisely what it is. She feels like she has to for the show. I don't think this is real for 1 second.
Yeah, she hasn't got any better options, has she? He's the top option.
Yeah.
Right? And that's
her competitive side. You know?
That's true.
Like, she knows that he's the guy that all the girls want, you know? And so she wants to maintain her top position by having the attraction of the top guy. And so that's why she was willing to like play nice with him and give him another chance, you know? Yeah, I agree. She's too much for Jason. Like, and she knows that. You know, after their first date, she was like, yeah, I'm a little bit nervous that he was like dealing with depression and, you know, all this stuff or whatever. So yeah, I think Jason needs someone who's going to be a little bit more gentle with him, which I think, what's the girl's name from church? She went to church.
Liz.
Liz, right. Yeah. Like, she might be a better match for Jason. You know, I don't know if Jason would be a good match for her, but in terms of the type of woman that Jason would need, he would need someone with a little bit more like softness, I think, towards him.
Yeah, I do agree with that. I mean, I personally do. I saw it slightly different, Kenny. I think she does. I think she finds him attractive. It's not that she likes him; she finds him attractive, and that's different, right? So the way she was giggling told me that she was gassed that he was giving her the attention. Not that she doesn't need it, but it's good to have, right? You know, the best looking guy in the and let's be honest, he is, for me personally, if I look at the show, if I look at it in terms of how the ladies are looking at it, he is the best looking guy on the show. Yeah, we've got everyone saying he's good looking, he's got a nice beard, he's tall, he's dark, he's handsome. So they're the ones saying that they're putting him on this pedestal, that he's the best looking guy there. But the only thing I would say about AJ is that he's, like I said this when we started this, there is no alpha males on the show. It's only the fact that on the show he is the top dog. He's actually not a very aggressive person. The way he even dealt with Kyra, I'd expect him that, yeah, he's a little come over here. That little come over here is nothing crazy. But the way he's gone about the show, I was expecting a bit more, you know, a bit more of the aggressive side to come through. But he's been quite passive, if I'm honest with you. It's like whatever comes, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? If I go over it, I'll go over it. Do you know what I mean? So he's riding on his good looks. That's what I'd see with AJ. He rides on his good looks. The women come to him and he kind of chills back, you know, kind of thing. Almost, it's a bit similar to kind of Kalfani a little bit in the sense of the looks kind of thing there. Do you know what I mean? But I would say that Kalfani had a bit more aggression when it came to trying to get what's her name again? Adriana, yeah. But I'm waiting to see AJ's active side come through, and I'm yet to see it. He didn't do it with Stacy. He hasn't done it with Kyra. Like, I don't know who else he can go to, but he hasn't shown that aggressive side, or at least that kind of assertive side to him. So yeah, I think he's very, very passive. I don't see any alpha particular from himself in that particular regard as well. So we'll have to wait and see. We'll see what happens. I don't know who Kyra's match will be. I don't think anyone is in there. It's going to be her match, but she may reach the end. Someone might decide to go with it. Who else was on the show? I'm trying to think now. It's come off my head top now. Joel. Sorry. Joel. Yes. Joel. Yes, Joel. Yes, Joel and Venicia. obviously we see him on the next week. He's getting kissed by Amber on his request. But obviously on this particular show episode, we saw them dancing, and again, it looks like they're formulating some really tight, bond. He was doing a bit of flirting, putting his arms around her back. Moving a bit dangerous up in here. But what's our thoughts on Joel and Venicia? Go on, Shanae. You kick us off then.
So I had to like binge watch to catch up.
Oh.
So these might be fresh in my mind versus you all's. But so when Joel and her had a date at his house, I paid attention to the way that he hugged her. And it reminded me of what this guy that I used to date told me that he does when he hugs, when he wants to see your booty move.
Oh.
And so I started watching him closer and closer because I just felt like he likes is it Venicia or Venicia?
I think it's Venicia. I'm just going to call it Vern because I didn't want no trouble.
Okay. And if you watch Venicia, I totally want to make sure I say your name right, but I don't want to butcher it either. So Vern, beautiful woman. And I just think that AJ likes what she looks like. I'm sorry, not AJ, Joel likes what she looks like a lot because his commentary tends to be centered around her body. And I want to see if he has anything else that he likes about her. Like he knows that she's a mom. So like, I guess the mom box is checked, but like, so what else is there? And I'm just not seeing it. And it makes me a little concerned because I feel like should somebody else come along with a nice body as well, would she also catch his eye? So that's a little concerning for me. Then you said he kissed Amber. I must have missed that. I didn't see that, but wow. Amber?
No, that's next week. That's next week's preview. He asked for a kiss on his cheek, I think it was. It wasn't on her lips, on his cheek.
Okay.
And she gave him a kiss on the cheek, yeah.
Oh, okay. I was like, okay, I didn't see the date with them. Okay. But they are going to kiss. Okay, so yeah, see, like, I'm kind of like, I don't know, Joel. Like, you say that you like Vern, but I just think you like what she's presenting to you. You like the way she's built. You liked her body. And I just it makes me feel like he's just a little superficial or shallow. Because I want him to show me more. There's more to this woman. Can we start peeling back some layers about her? We already know she has 3 daughters. What else have you learned about this woman? And it doesn't seem like there's very much there. Now, from what I'm hearing, he's also a really great guy too. And we're not seeing that on the show yet. So maybe there's a whole lot that's still left to come. But yeah, I remember that the way he hugged her and he moved her body. It triggered in my mind, like, was he trying to see her booty clap? Like, oh, okay, Joel. All right. That's not really cool. But we'll see.
Bunda's very important, guys. Go for it. Yeah, Maria.
I hear you, Shanae. I disagree. All right. So when a woman is more voluptuous, she has curves, all that. There's a certain appreciation that we have when a man appreciates the curves, right? Not too much to the point where it's objectifying and like overdosing on it, but we appreciate when a man likes our curves and our voluptuousness and celebrates it, just because curvy women's bodies are usually rejected by society and are usually, told that that is not the ideal standard of beauty. So when a man isn't stuck on a size 2 woman, it's kind of like, it's not necessarily all the way a bad thing for women who are more on the curvy side of things. Now with Joel, I do think that he sees her beyond just her body. I think, yes, he's attracted to her body. He's made that known, but he also says stuff like, she's been through some things. She has depth, she has substance. And then I see Joel's character outside of just his situation with her. Like, he shows really positive character in the way that he interacts with the other cast members. Even the way, like in last episode or episode before last, I can't remember which one it was, but all the men were basically trying to say Tressa wasn't the one, you know? And he kind of stood up for her and was like, yo, like, you know, I might like Tressa, you know, I like a little meat on the bones, which, you know, I can appreciate that about Joel. You know, he was willing to go against the popular opinions and kind of stick up for her a little bit. And then the way he treated her in the having to like send her home and everything, you could tell that he approached it with a lot of care and tenderness, you know, like he cared about her feelings, you know, like I just see Joel being a good guy. I think that he might be misunderstood because he's from New Orleans, and New Orleans dudes, they have a certain way about their personalities that is a little bit like, I don't even know how to describe it, but you know, they say baby and you know, you heard me, like it becomes like you think that they're like spitting game or whatever, but that's just how they communicate or whatever. And men from New Orleans and from the South in that region, they do like thick women. They like the thickness. They like the bunda, as Kojo would like to say. And I don't think that there's anything necessarily wrong with that. And I just haven't seen Joel do anything bad per se to anyone. So I don't think that he has bad intentions. I don't think he's necessarily objectifying. I think he's more so appreciating. But again, like, I still want to see more. I do want to see how they grow their relationship. I know from a future preview that him and Venicia kind of get into it a little bit, or like he does something that kind of rubs her the wrong way. So I need to wait and hold out to see what that's all about, to see how that situation gets handled before I make any strong determinations. But so far, I'm walking. I wish Lola was here because I'm like walking towards Team Joel a little bit. I just see a little bit of good character in him, and that's attractive to me. As far as Venicia, I do think that she should open her options a little bit more. I feel like she's so sold on Joel right now, and I haven't seen her really connect with anyone else. So I think that she should maybe not play the field, but just kind of like see what else is out there, just in case Joel ends up being a douche, because we don't know yet. But yeah, I mean, if they were to work out, I really like them together. Like them doing the salsa dancing was like so cute. I just think that they were just so cute. Like what she was wearing was perfect. Like she looked good. She looked good. Like, and then they were just flowing and vibing, and the chemistry is there, you know. And even when they were at the masquerade ball or whatever, like even Jason noticed their chemistry and came over to them and be like, hey, invite me to the wedding, you know, because they were giving the vibes that they were really connecting on a level that maybe everyone else is not ready to connect with yet. I don't know it, you know, how deep the connection is, but they definitely have chemistry. They definitely have a vibe. And I like Venicia. I'm rooting for her. I want her to find someone that likes her for who she is, that appreciates all of her, and you know, all of that. So I don't know. I'm rooting for them. I don't dislike Joel. I'm hoping he's a good guy, like how he's like kind of coming off. I hope he can, you know, keep that same energy, but we shall see.
Good points. Good points. Go for it,
Um, I want to go to like the Derek Tressa scene. Like, I think Derek made a comment that I wrote it down. If a man wants you, you're going to know it.
Mm-hmm.
If he's not doing if he's not doing that, you're going to know it. He's going to do whatever needs to get you. So if we go back and rewind to Joel from week 1, he told you what type of women he liked. He told you why he liked Vern, and he's been going after this, like, I mean, as assertively as possible. So to me, I haven't seen any problems in the way that Joel has pursued Vern. And I think as Murray said, stand-up guy, everything is top, everything high character, high integrity. Like I can see why he's on the show. Now, I don't know Vern. We don't have that much information of her. All we hear from Vern is based on the conversations with Joel, and based on that, it's just like you can. There's nothing not to like. I don't think he's objectifying her. I just think he likes overly developed women, if we can say. He likes overdeveloped assets, if we can say that. And the fact that he knows what he wants, is going after he wants. I mean, I congratulate him for that, because again, a lot of other guys there are lying to themselves, or they kind of have like typical excuses why they don't want to go after those type of women. That's what I'm getting from the show, especially this exit interview. So let's see what goes on. I don't think he's misleading Vern or anything. I think he genuinely wants to get to know her. I think he wants that motherly figure for his. He said he's even looking for a motherly figure for his kids to help them raise up. So again, like, he has a purpose and identity. He knows exactly what he's going after. Is Vern that type of person? That's my main question, because again, like, we don't hear her talk or say anything. I can barely understand Joel like 50% of the time, but it's like with Vern, like, I don't understand what you say. I don't understand what you're doing or saying. There's the problem.
Oh, Oni, you give me jokes, man. Kenny, were you gonna say something?
Yeah, I was gonna say something. First of all, I love the fire that Oni is bringing tonight. I love it. So yeah, more of it. Honestly, the thing is, I actually agree with each and every single one of you. I agree with Shanae about, I'm not really sure what they're bonding on. I think that's bad producing or production or editing, because with always seeing is all of this, and that's fine. You want a man that can't keep his hands off you, but it's the roots only get deep with conversation and alignment on values and all kinds of things. That's the key thing. I know that Joel has said that she's a mother, she's been through stuff and all that good stuff, but does Joel want additional, like 4 additional kids with the one he has? Is he looking for the whole additional family, or the mother to care for the kids? We don't know. Why? Because production and editing, they've just like chopped away all the conversation and have given us no context to this real bond. So I can't really speak to if their relationship has depth or not, because as far as we're concerned, they don't talk. They don't talk. I agree with Maria in the sense of, yes, it's nice to have that positive reinforcement of voluptuous bodies on screen. But, and folks are going to come for me maybe, but the true voluptuous body is Tressa. The Instagram voluptuous body is Venicia. So while we are we're grateful for the love that she's getting, she has had a mummy makeover. Her older pictures look nothing like that. And Tressa is the reality of, she's stacked, but stacked also means you could have a bit of a belly. Your waist is not going to be, it's not scientifically possible. Your waist is not going to be this tiny and the rest of you is bodacious unless you've had some help, either a corset or a doctor, but you need help. It doesn't work that way, right? So yes, I don't want to poo-poo that, the love that the voluptuous body is getting, but I think it's also ironic that the real voluptuous woman got sent home this week, right? That's the real deal. And I think also is, in alignment with that, when Tressa and Kojo, let me know if I'm going a little ahead, but I know Tressa's not coupled up, so that's why I'm kind of like bringing her into. Okay, so when Tressa's on her date with Joel and he's about to send her home, what does she say? She says, "Finally, we have a date." Finally, we have a date, because she was suspecting that Joel likes voluptuous women, being a New Orleans guy, being a Southern man, like they like a little bit more meat on the bones, but he didn't pay her no mind. Why? Because it was the manufactured voluptuous body that was the attraction. That's the reality. Like, is that it's like me seeing a couple. It's like me seeing all these couples, right? If you have like 50 couples and they're all black love, but 49 of them, it's an ambiguous or biracial woman and a black man. And standing black love. Like, these women don't look like me. So yes, on paper it looks great that he loves this plus size person, but like it's I'm unpopular opinion alert, but it's the trending type of body. It's what people are paying for. It's not the real organic voluptuous body that does get blacklisted, that does get hidden. And that's why Tressa's approach was like, I'm trying to understand, are you going to hide me, or, by sexing me, or are you really trying to know me for who I am? As opposed to Venicia not even having any of those hangups, because she bought the stack that she wanted, right? So even that comes with different energy. One gets praise and one is getting sent home. Yeah, that's it. That's my point.
But Joel defended Tressa. I just want to put that back out there into the atmosphere. He just was outnumbered by all the other men. I think Joel genuinely does like voluptuous women. I think he just happened to connect with Venicia more. And yeah, Venicia might have trimmed the waist a little bit more, but aesthetically, I mean, I guess that's what he's attracted to. But yeah, I think he still defended Tressa, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I 100% will give him that. Yeah, I will give him that. Another thing in Joel, like, I guess my comments I wasn't trying to vilify Joel. It's for me, it's more so like time will tell, because I really do think bad editing. I don't know what Joel is about. But one thing that did stand out to me, in addition to what you're saying, Maria, is how he handled and treated Tressa. Like, he sent her off with dignity.
Yes, like, that's why I like him.
Yes, I have to give him that. Complete opposite of Denise last year. Watch your step, king. He did not do that. He said, you deserve a king. He said, you deserve a king. He didn't tell her, watch your step, king. He said, you deserve a king. I love, like, I've watched the episode twice, and that part, I just love how he made space for her heart. The way he like
rubbed her shoulder and like sat there while she was like, he just had a certain level of authenticity and like character to him. He feel like he has some empathy up in there.
I agree with that. But he didn't want Tressa.
Yeah, but he didn't want her. He didn't take her on a date though. He should have gone on a date with her. That's the truth. He went for the GMO. That's the truth.
And I want to see him have a deeper interest in Vern besides her body. For me, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know the body conversation gets a little bit touchy, and I get that. I'm a woman with a body, and I'm gonna fall on someone's spectrum at some point and be what somebody likes and not be what somebody else likes. But at the end of the day, the greatest thing about me is the muscle between my ears. It ain't even anything that my body has. And I just want to see that being pursued further than we get it. You like her body. And what else? Right? We get that. So I want to see more of that. And like you said, Kay, that's something I did not think about. It could be the way that it's being edited, and we've been cheated out of scenes where they've had these in-depth conversations, or just anything. I think Ono mentioned it too. So what do we even know about Vern? Yeah, what do we know about Vern other than what she shared about herself in the very first episode? Like, I want to see, what does Joel like about her? Because I still don't know that yet. I know what he likes aesthetically. Okay, great. Now what else? Because if y'all want to build a life together, it's going to be more than just that. I get you have your attractions, right? I get that part. And I'm not downing. This is not a diss at his character as a man. It's just me saying that I want to see, what does he like about Vern besides that?
But didn't he say what, like he said, like, and on their first date, they connected on their love for their children. Apparently, he knows that she's been through some things in life. Like, he has talked about things about her that he likes outside of her body. I think we keep focusing on his attraction to her body because he has these, exaggerated reactions because he's an animated individual. But I do think that there's more there than just the physical that he's attracted to with Venicia. And I think that he has, communicated aspects of that on screen. I think that maybe production needs to show more of that, because the way they are like the way their chemistry is set up and the way they're connecting when we do see them on camera kind of suggests that they've had more conversations outside of what we've seen, you know? But yeah, I mean, I hear what you're saying. I would love for production to show more of their interactions on that level.
I hear that. I think obviously as well, like I think we said this on the first episode we done on this live. And as much as even if Venetia's done work, I said this on the very first episode, it's the way you dress too is very important. If you're wearing tight, you better be tight. Right? Because if I'm a man and I have man boobs and I wear a tight t-shirt, you're going to be looking at my t-shirt like, why is this guy wearing something so tight that his breasts are now showing through the t-shirt? Right? It's just the way it's presented. Whenever I look at Venicia, she's wearing something long and flowing. I don't know if the tummy is trim. I don't know if the tummy is trim.
She had on a crop top and sweatpants when she went to
the house.
To the house for breakfast. So you got to see her waist.
Okay, so is it trim? Because I wasn't paying attention when I saw it. I think I was looking at no jokes, but I didn't pay attention. So I just remember them talking. Yeah, Oni's laughing.
It's trim. Like Venicia is back. Like she is banging. Like
okay,
I don't take none of that away from her. Like yeah, she's banging.
That's fair enough. Okay, so she's trim, right? So, but the thing with Tressa is if you're not trim in the stomach area, can't wear things that are tight because people are going to look at you visually. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's your body's banging, but if this is not trim and you wear something that's tight, it's going to look bad. It's not going to look as effective as it needs to. So it's about dressing according to your shape because her shape is nice. If she just wore something a little bit more different, it bangs differently. Everything being tight, it don't look good because you're not in that particular shape. And I know, listen, this is going to be a painful conversation. I'm just being real because us men. This is a conversation that we have in the background. But like, oh, girl's looking good, but you know what? Everything's tight and you're showing everything, but you're not tight, so it don't make sense. Do you know what I mean? So that's for me. I think if she just switches up the dress sense, bruv, she goes from another level.
Can I ask a question? I'm not gonna argue that point because I'm not a man. So
yeah,
it's not my market. But if she dresses for her body, whatever it is, and I'm speaking specifically because she's a curvy woman, and specifically because the society that we're in does not celebrate curvy bodies. Like but if she did all these things, won't the man who is with her take it all off and see what she's actually made of? So it's either he wants a curvy woman who is stacked like her, or he doesn't. What I'm trying to say is I'm not really sure if you're comparing Tressa and Venicia, like I'm not sure because I think so far after the first date, what Tressa has worn, like the right undergarments seem to be in place, so she seems to be looking okay, I'm not sure what other things she could do to be more attractive when her size is her size and what she's wearing is what she's wearing. And it's either you want that or you don't want that, because even if she's wearing a girdle and cinched like Kim Kardashian, he's going to take it all off and he's going to see she's got a gut and he's going to be like, is this hot or not? And he's not going to run away right there. Like I don't know.
It's the same thing with Khalil though. Presentation's everything. You're gone in a competition. When it's Khalil, it's not a problem. We can say it. Khalil, you dress shabby. It's that simple. You went into a place and your suit was dripping off you. You looked shabby when you were there. It's a competition. It's real spit. As a teacher, fine. In a competition, compare him to what Asia was wearing. There is no competition. What Asia was wearing was fitted to the point, to the T. Everything looked in place, meticulous. Irrespective of if he was good looking or not, you saw the dress sense on point. And that makes a huge difference, not only to the person watching you, but actually to you too, because you feel more confident. If you're a person goes gym, right? Do you know why we wear tight tops? We want you to see the workout. We want you to see the bicep muscles. We want you to see the abs. We want you to see the chest because we've developed it, right? We want you to see it, get excited. That's precisely why we wear a tight ass top. Now, when I'm out of shape, I don't want to be wearing tight tops because that's the wrong message I'm sending there. I'm sending to a message to you that I'm unfit, unhealthy. The difference doesn't change with women. It's the same thing. How men see other women too. You do it with men, and men do the same thing to women. So I'm not saying that that it would have made an astronomical difference in the competition. I think she still would have gone home. Do you know what I'm saying? Because it was more about what energy she was carrying. But I'm saying about if we're talking about first impressions on what you're wearing and stuff like that, that also plays a part into how people perceive you to be. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's why, that's my perspective as a male. I believe that's how we think. We see women, and that's how we think. If you dressed in a certain way, you get perceived in a certain way. So if it's going to be tight, you got to be tight.
But I think saying your dress, like in the case of Khalil, versus saying to a woman, if your belly's not tight, that is a little bit different for me. Okay. I think what it comes down to is that you have two, what we would call voluptuous, full-figured, or whatever a term you want to go with, women on the show. But yet, did you choose men on the show that are attracted to women that are built that way? Because if we take Joel out of the equation, who does Vern have?
I don't know. I don't know who. No one else.
That's my whole point. That's my whole point. Who's showing up for the Tressas? Who's showing up for the Verns? It would have been nice to have them pull candidates that liked women that look like Tressa and Vern. And then also have some that like them looking like Stacy and Chris and Alexis. But it kind of seems like to me, the majority of the men on this particular cast are not checking for Vern or Tressa. And again, without Joel even being there, have we even heard any of the other men mention anything about Vern?
Boom.
Because I haven't. And as a woman, I'm not even the same shape as those women, but my heart goes out to them. And I feel like they got set up in a way to be in front of men that don't like their body type. That's like me. That's like me going to Joel and being like, hey, he'd call me all kind of stick figure women or whatever, because I'm not his flavor. And that's okay. So who am I for? Put me in front of the men that see me and want this. And that's what I feel sorry for with Vern and with Tressa. And that's why I made my initial comment about Vern, is because I'm like, but she's so much more than just a wonderful body. And at 4 episodes, I feel cheated that I haven't learned more about her. Because now you just make it feel like she's just there to be looked at. We can find her all day on the Explore tab if we just want to see a body. But this woman has depth. I haven't heard about her beauty salon. We ain't talked one time about what she does for a living on this show. Or it hasn't been shown, I'll say it. Because I understand they're having conversations and that there's stuff being left on the cutting room floor. I just want more for us, y'all. That's all I'm saying. I'm not arguing one side of the argument or or the other. It's just that, like, it gets a little touchy for me when you talk about how a woman needs to show up and represent her body. And I'm like, so what do men have to do? Because
that's not how it works.
AJ's not checking any boxes for me. So where's the dudes that I'm checking for?
Yeah, but that's not how it works. See, that's the thing. See, this is the beautiful thing. It doesn't work like that for you. You're not in favor. We're in the favorable positions. We are in the favorable position, 1, because we choose, and 2, because there's more of you than there is of us. So in some sense, you're gonna have to play the game. The show is, although it's a show, there is a part reality in this. Everybody's on that show because they couldn't find a partner, right? But in the reality of the real life is, when you are bigger, you dwindle your options. It's just that simple. I know it's not PC to say it, because it's like, like this is the whole conversation where Kevin Samuels comes into it, where it's like, everything becomes very PC. It's like, everybody's a 10. Come off that. We're not all 10s. It's a lie. Your personal, I had a video which I'm going to bring up, which is that bad character and banging personality can still take you outside a room, because the men are not looking at that. Do you understand? What draws me first to you is how you look. That's the first thing that's drawing me to you. Women are looking at it from their perspective is, oh, you know what? Some guys, we have to look beyond the looks because, you know, we want to find the right kind of guy. I hear you. We don't have that problem. We're looking at your face. We're looking at your body. And then we're looking inside into your heart. So for us, that's how we look at it. I know it's shallow. It is shallow, but that's the truth of men. So when I'm looking at the competition, do you know why I can tell someone's an alpha male? Just because they look good. Because I know how the women too are also looking. Right. But then when they get to a certain point, they look beyond that. Men don't. They take a longer time before they look into the heart. They look first. Okay, she banging. She got a body. That's why he never went out of Tressa. That's the honest truth. Why he never went out of Tressa. He was not attracted. He said it. He said it with the guys like, oh, she's a queen. She's this. She's that. All of that was lovely spiel. It was a sermon. It was a monologue. But in the end, you never went on a date with her. Not once. He waited to the very end, and you're rubbing her arm like, you know, baby. You know, I can't even look at you. You're so pretty. Come off it, bro. Come off it, bro. I'm a man. I know exactly what you're doing, bro. Just you softening the blow, but you never were interested. So that's what I'm saying. Like this is how us men are thinking. This is how.
Yeah, but these broad strokes, and I agree with Shanae on the fact that there are men out there who find Tressa attractive.
I agree.
And for there to be such a broad stroke, like all men need you to look a certain way in the body, that's just not true. Because while all the other guys aren't checking for Venicia, Joel is. So like that's his type. But where was Tressa's type in this whole scenario? This was not a safe space for Tressa because, you know, a guy who's attracted to her wasn't even present. You know, and I don't like the Kevin Samuels situation because what he's basically saying is all women need to subscribe to this, you know, society standard of beauty where you can't have any fat on your waist. You got to be a size 2 in order to attract men. And it's like, no, you have to find the type of men that are attracted to you and go for that. Now, if you're trying to get a man who's attracted to, you know, women who are a certain size and a certain shape, then yeah, go to the gym, do some work, get into that shape, you know? But, you know, if you want to be confident in who you are and live in your truth and be loved for exactly who you are, then find someone who's going to do that. This show wasn't diversified enough for that. So yeah, I just don't like painting the broad strokes and telling women that, like, you know, you have to not have any belly fat or look a certain shape and stuff like that, because that's where it starts to get real toxic and, you know, you start to body shame. And it's
so I didn't say she needs to be in that shape. We're talking about, and this is why I'm saying, this is why I'm meaning to have this conversation with you guys. We're not saying you have to have that. We're talking about options. Like this is let's keep it 100% real. We're talking about how many options you're going to have. You want more men on the show who are going to like Tressa's body type? Guess what? In the real world, there aren't that many either. This is the whole point. The reason why you only had one Joel is because there is only few guys like that too in the real world.
I don't
we
know
have that same issue.
Though, Kojo. There are men that eat Tressa up like cake every day, all day. I don't think it's as minimal as you're saying that it is. It may not be what you are exposed to.
But the reason why they're not on the show is because there's not that many. You're picking. There's not that many. That's what I'm saying to you. Why is it when men are telling you something, there's a dissonance? We are telling you this is how we think. Why are you questioning how men think?
I'm not questioning how men think.
We're not coming from your perspective.
I'm questioning you. I'm just talking to you because you can't speak for all men. I'm just asking you, right? Because you're the one that brought it up.
I know. Okay. So I'm giving you a male perspective.
I get it.
This is how we think. All right? This is how we think. It's unfortunate, but this is how we think.
Kojo, hear me out for 1 second. Tressa comes a dime a dozen in a lot of cities, like Houston, for example, and men love it. Love it.
I'm hearing you.
Love it. There's not a problem. This conversation isn't even happening. She's what they want. She's what they're attracted to. And she could probably even tell you, I've had a lot. She even said, like, so what is it about? Like, do you want to have, is it just a sex thing? Because the girl ain't got no problems getting a man. So it's not as minimal as you think it is. We were just having that one conversation, and you probably saw our faces because it does kind of get a little dicey. You know what I'm saying? These women on this show, I think for the most part, all of them are, maybe not all of them, most of them are mothers. So to sit up there and say that a mother, Vern's had 3 girls, Tressa has a son, some of the other ladies, Stacy has 3 kids. Really? We're going to talk about what their bellies should be looking like?
I didn't say that. I
It's
said
just,
about what's options and what's preferential. Again, you're misquoting what I'm saying.
I'm not
See, this
trying to
is
misquote you.
no.
This is
Look,
just what I
I have to
heard.
lay it for you so you understand what I'm saying to you. When you are talking about how you have a preference, discuss how you have a preference as a woman. When I'm letting you know how men think, we're not cussing you. We're saying this is how we think. So that's what I'm trying to get you to understand. How you think is not how we think.
Okay, so how about this? Let's ask Onu what he thinks, since he's the second male on the panel. We can hear from another male perspective. Is that okay?
Go for it. Go for it.
I agree. I mean, I agree with Coach has to say. I think the issue here is, for the most part, I think the issue here is it's like when guys are visual, are attracted to visual looks. So the key thing here is when people don't look the way we want them, how or what we feel was attracted to, how should we deal with those situations? Because if you go through the exit interview with the women, with the men saying they weren't attracted to, they didn't find her appeasing. They looked at her, they looked at her and they kind of like, oh, I'm going a different direction. Would it be better if they would have actually had a conversation, had a date, or actually got to know her as a person? Is that the bar we're trying to get to? Because if we keep things as based on, okay, looks, if I find you attractive, I go out with you. I don't find you attractive, I don't say anything to you. We're stuck in the same place. The problem here is like, when do we learn to get out of our comfort zones? And we can't look just like body positivity plays a bunch into it. That can't be the main reason why you find someone unattractive to. To me, that shouldn't be the number one reason. I listened to what David had this. I think. Sorry, Jason, David, and I think Asia. What they had to say, it just it's boiled down to appearance. And if that's what we're basing it down to, people that look like Tressa are not going to have a chance. And honestly, every opportunity that you put yourself around people like that, you have to be at your best. Someone like Chrysanthemum, someone like Chrysanthemum, she can have like an average, she can just wake up out of bed, do whatever it is, average day, and guys can wind up her left and right. Why is that? Because again, it's the visual appearance that most guys have to say. It sucks, and again, I think it boils down to what men are accustomed to look and see. And until we identify that and find a way to move past that, we're still going to talk in the same circles. And like, I don't know what else we can say.
Thanks, Onu.
I hear you guys. Oh, go ahead, Kenny. Go ahead.
Can I say something? I think there's a few things. There's a few. I'm listening. I'm like, yo, I'm so scared to get into this conversation, y'all.
Cancelled. You're gonna put me as Kobe Jr.
Yo, I'm so scared to get into this conversation. I'm like, Kenny, you just like listen to this one. But okay, I'm hearing different arguments and different points here. I'm hearing one that says if you're a plus size person, voluptuous person, you have slimmer pickings because of the way society standards are set. That's one. But to increase your chances, dress for your body so it looks more appealing. Is that what I'm hearing? That's kind of like two. I'm also hearing that there's a certain kind of voluptuous figure that even if you are voluptuous, and even if you do dress for your body, there's a certain type of voluptuous figure that there's even a hierarchy. And I think curvy people would admit that the curvy women on the magazines aren't the everyday. It's hourglass. You don't have the apple shape. You don't have the rectangular shape. You don't like. There's a certain ideal curvy body that you do see even when you're seeing body positivity campaigns. And if I'm wrong, please feel free to correct me. It's like a flat stomach, blah, 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 blah. So I'm hearing that too. Like, even if you are even if you're curvy, whichever shape you are, and you do dress for your figure to increase your chances, because society sucks. There is still a preference even within the type of curvy body you have, and unfortunately, if you don't have that, your pickings are slimmer. Is that what the guys are saying, Kojo and Ono? Have I missed anything that you're saying? Because I don't think I'm necessarily hearing you have to be a certain thing, but it's more so society sucks and curvy people aren't necessarily always accepted. So you guys are saying that's reality one. So to increase your chances, dress for your figure. So at least you can get folks in the door, to get to know your personality and dissuade them of shallow expectations.
Yeah.
And then the reality also, society sucks. There is a hierarchy of preference even within the kind of curvy body. Am I putting words in people's mouth? I just want to make sure I'm
You're good. You're good.
I think you're good.
okay. All right. I don't think there's an argument to win here. Society sucks.
Honestly, society sucks.
I don't think there's an argument to win here. Society sucks, and I do think. Here's my question. Here's one thing I want to add. The kinds of people that Tressa and Venicia are attracted to, are they necessarily the folks that are attracted to them, the muscular guys who work out? Because a lot of times Tyler Perry has sold us a dream that the curvy woman will have no, that the very voluptuous woman will have this guy that is gymming it up, and it's this match made in heaven, when more often than not, the reality is a man that is a little softer would be attracted to a woman that's a little softer. And a man who's fitter would be attracted to this. Broad brushes, there's always exceptions. A man that is fitter will be attracted to a woman that is fitter, not just for aesthetics, but also for the lifestyle. Like, you want to be able to go running with this person, gymming with this person. Are there exceptions? Yes, because I've definitely heard men who are more muscular saying they don't want to be bumping a muscle. They want something warm and soft and gushy, and they want home. Society sucks. I think I agree with the whole fact that the cast wasn't as diverse as it could be. But then I also think if the cast was diversified, would the women be attracted to the men that would have been attracted to them? That's also the facts. So with that being said, I'm gonna get out of the conversation. Maria, you wanted to say something.
Go for it, Maria.
Yeah, I just think that we are broad stroking this whole conversation. I think that we are placing a lot of stereotypes on it. This is a reality TV show. However, in actual reality, I've seen guys who are cut up go for voluptuous women like Tressa. I've seen it all the time. So this perception that someone like Tressa doesn't deserve a guy who looks a certain way or is a certain way or has a certain aesthetic just is not true, and then, on the flip side, it's just this really toxic double standard because, men can be fat and ugly, okay, and require a woman to be pristinely beautiful and in shape and all this type of stuff, which baffles my mind all in itself. So I just think that if we want to talk in all of these generalities, okay, that's one thing, but just understand that in actual reality, it's not always like that. There are women, I literally see it all the time. There are women like Tressa who get married, who have husbands, and it doesn't mean that their husband is just as fat or whatever. There's a lot of diversity out there to be had, and I don't think that we need to brush it with a stroke. Now, if we're talking about a TV dynamic where they're trying to sell a certain image and push a certain narrative, like how they always do, because that's where we get our standards of beauty from, is the media. Okay. So they push these narratives onto us and we eat it up. We think it's true. We ingest that. And then when we go out into the world, we wonder why it's hard for us to find healthy relationships, because we're so caught up in the superficial messages that we're being fed.
Mm-hmm.
And then we miss out on really great connections with people because we're so focused on physicality. That
Mm-hmm.
means absolutely nothing to the quality of a person. The value of a woman is not wrapped up in the size of her waist.
It's not value. I need to add this.
I get what you're saying, Kojo. It's about initial attraction. But the reality is that there are men who are initially attracted to, and I get it. Like, there's so much, and Kenny, you summed it up very well. You know, to get them in the door, you have to wear the right things, and you know, all of that. I'm just saying that, like, there's just this immense amount of pressure put on women when we're having these types of conversations, that it does get to be a little bit broad stroke-ish, and we're not, you know, really focusing on a lot of nuance in the situation.
So can I just say this? Women are hypocritical. I'll tell you why. When KG, wants to have a woman that pays more, you are quick to say sugar baby. You want, this guy only wants a woman to pay for him. He's not trying to hold his own. You had no problem slewing and slicing him, even in the comments, women going at him. You have no problem. The markers for what a man should be are different to what a woman should be. You guys have no problem. If I said to you, date somebody in McDonald's, you'd be looking at me like it's mad. Kenny was definitely not dating someone in McDonald's. Okay, her level was definitely above that, and I've got no beef with that, right? Because she has a standard. You can't try and flip it and say men are being a certain way, and we're valuing women on their looks, but you are valuing men by how much money they make in their pocket. When I said KG do 50-50, wait. When I said KG do 50-50, y'all were looking at me like, what, 50-50? How are you going to do 50-50? Like, what kind of a man are you that want to do 50-50? What kind of man are you that want to pay on the first date? What kind of man are you that want to pay? You want to let someone else pay the bills? You have no problem coming at men for finances. It's not tetchy then. It's only tetchy when we start talking about you. You have to be able to accept, if you're talking about men, it has to go the other way. You cannot have it one way. You can't. Because when we talk about money, y'all are quick to make jokes and backs in the comment section, and you make it on here too. You got no problem. KG has been a butt of jokes on here all the time because he doesn't pay all the bills. And I've got no problem with that. I understand why you're cussing him. I understand why. I get it, right? You El Cheapo, exactly. Someone put there, El Cheapo. You have no problem saying about AG's El Cheapo. There is no problem saying it. Right? You have the platform to do so, but be ready when it comes back to you. Be ready when it comes back to you. You can't do this, we can say something about you, but when it comes back to you, no, I can't say it. No, you got to have to take it. You have a standard.
I don't think that's what, look. So when we were talking about KG and like him trying to be sugar baby, like, I didn't say all women think like that. Like, you're the only one that was saying all men. I'm giving you the male perspective. All men think like this about women. I didn't say all women wants a guy who's going to be an all provider. I said I personally am not about that life, the 50-50. Well, I mean, it's not even about 50-50. It's more so about, you know, are you going to, you know, be a provider? And I'm not saying that, you know, I'm never going to contribute to the financial situation. And so when I was making those statements or whatever, I never put it on all women, because as you can see, you have Ambers of the world who are okay with that. And I even highlighted that in my statement. So don't try to paint the false narrative about what women are saying on this panel. That's all I'm saying.
I didn't say all men. I said this is how men think. And I'm telling you that their options are limited. They shrink when it comes to looks. Also, when you women are looking at men, you also judge men. You have a standard. We've had the conversation here before, and it hasn't not been a problem. You wouldn't date a guy at McDonald's. Tell me, no, Shanae, would you date a guy at McDonald's who works at McDonald's?
Does he own the franchise?
No. He works at McDonald's on the floor, cleaning the floor, girl. He's doing on the fries. He on the fries. He on the fries, sis.
I feel like you're setting me up and you're taking this down a road that we weren't even supposed to be on. I, for one, never said nothing about KG and his paying half of the mortgage and all of that. What you not fixing to do is ensnare me, okay? It's late in the evening, but I'm still on point. Don't bring it over this way, Kojo. I was talking about something very specific, and now we done went all over. Now I'm over here on fries. I'm with the fry boy.
So are you going to work? Are you going to date someone who's on fries?
Don't do me.
No, it's no one dating someone from McDonald's here, yeah? Everyone's not dating someone from McDonald's. Right? And it's not because you're shallow. You understand how much money it takes to work for your life. You know your lifestyle you want to come into, and that's okay. That's your standard. Just know the men too have a standard, and that's okay. Okay? Just the same way we're shallow with looks, you're shallow with money too. Y'all don't want to date somebody who's a broski and dusky. I hear it all the time. He a dusty, he a brokey. Okay. You're right. You don't earn enough to be able to talk to you. I understand. He can't have your lifestyle. He can talk to you, but he can't be in a relationship with you. I get it. So we all have to understand that everybody's got their standards. Anyway, sorry, we've gone off topic. It's been a really good conversation. My bad. Sorry, ladies. Thank you so much. Apologies. Who are we talking about again?
Right.
Who we talking about now? Who was the last
Joel,
person?
we were talking about
Venicia.
Joel, Venicia, and Tressa.
Venicia and Tressa. Okay, cool. So Tressa obviously went home, unfortunately, as well, and she was crying. I felt bad. That's what I really felt bad for her because I think she really wanted this. And I think she really wanted this, and yeah, that was an emotional scene to see that her and Stacy both were crying. So I think people really do want to find somebody. I think the cast is a bit more different from the previous shows. They're not like people who are major on social media already. They look like really like down to earth kind of people who really just want to live life. So, what was your kind of thoughts in the fact that Tressa had to go and had to be sent home?
We're going back to Tressa. You sure?
Okay, sorry, my bad. Let's start over here. You're right. My bad. I was about to enter into the field again.
Yeah, let's leave the field. Let's go somewhere else.
Leave that field. My bad. Good looking out, Kenny.
You know, I love you.
Cool. I know. I'm trying to think who's other couples there who's left. Then who am I missing?
Have we talked about Alexis Fly? I don't think so.
Yeah, we have. Well, we didn't talk about Jason and Liz. Sorry, Jason and Liz. Jason, Liz, and David. Okay,
Jason, Liz, and David. Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Oh, Chile. It was the people came from in the comments the other day about this. What's your thoughts? Onu, you got your mic open already, so I'm gonna let you go first. What's your thoughts? Jason, Liz, David, what are you saying, bro?
I mean, I'm on Jason's side here. Like, honestly, when she came in the masquerade ball, Liz was on purpose. She was about her business. Like, honestly, that was a showstopper right there. Like, honestly, you wish the women on the show were doing what Liz is doing, but I don't know what they are. Like, she put them all to shame. Now, we haven't talked too much about Alexis, but again, if you compare Liz to Alexis, there's levels to the game. There's a reason why Liz is ahead of all the other women out there. So again, I understand that. Jason, I need you to close the deal here. Like, honestly, whatever needs to happen, please make it happen. Because honestly, this is where you should be shoot all the shots you need. Her conversation, like when we talk about game, we're talking about suaveness. Did you see the little thing what he did with the hair and like shut Liz down? She couldn't say 3 words after that. Like did everyone see that part?
What part?
I'm like when she was like when Jason brought her to the couch, she started talking to her. She was talking about their life, and then he just stopped her, like played with her hair a little bit, and then it's like,
yeah, that was game. I ain't gonna lie to you.
That's what I mean. This is a game. This is what I want to see. Like, why am I not seeing much more of this? But we'll put that aside. I like what Liz has to say. Integrity, character. Honestly, like if I was on this show, like I'll be shooting 100 shots at Liz. If I can get 3 of them to land, so be it. Jason, I like his character on the show. And again, like going back to Alexis Fly, I like how he moves. Like when he isn't interested in someone, like he's not gonna keep them tagging along. The one thing I didn't like about the women, or majority of women, they kept like, who's my number one? They kept I want to say aggressive with asking the guys, and the guys were like, they answered the question, but I guess they felt like intimidated, or they felt like annoyed about it. But with Jason, she sat him down like, okay, like this is why I I don't find you attractive or I'm not interested in you. Like I see you outside of a relationship space. I hang out with your child. We have a relationship outside of my dating atmosphere. So again, like when he had the explanation, I was like, okay, I can get along with this. And to me, the way that he dealt with Alexis is different that you see how he dealt with Tressa towards the end. So again, if we're going to congratulate these guys based on, again, what they deem attractive going out for it, then again, as Cole just said earlier, I don't want to catch too much. Is what they, if you find something decent, please, you want to go after it 100%. It also has the extreme why. The issue I have is like, don't try to muddle the waters or try to make it seem like, hey, we're not interested in somebody. Now they're clueless about it. Outside Tressa, I don't think Jason is doing that with the other women there. David in the beginning is just like, again, like I see it. They got a good rapport. Besides them both being these hyper Christians growing up in the church, I don't see the attraction there, or I don't see what else they have to bring. So again, I'm pushing Jason Listen together, but David, I'm like, I mean, again, even him, he was stumbled when he saw her. Like, literally, he stopped her from going inside. Like, honest, I'm going inside to meet the rest of the guys. Like, if that was David, like, I would have taken her outside. Like, let's just be a couple here and move on. But that's just me.
I love that. Yeah, choose that, bro. You're real with that still. Yes, Shanae, you got your mic open. Go for it.
Oh, I do.
Oh.
Sorry, I was like, I do. It must have been from the last time. I thought I had already talked about Jason and Liz.
Did you talk about Jason? You did mention a little bit. Okay. Just recap then for us.
Jason is shooting. He's shooting high, very high beyond his normal realm of what's acceptable in his life and what he's normally used to to having on his arm. Liz is a absolutely gorgeous woman. So I can see why. However, one thing I do remember about Jason is he's easily swayed when something, good to him comes along the way. So at the initial mixer, he was standing, talking with somebody. I don't remember who, but then Kyra walked up and he was gone.
Shanae, hold your mic.
Hold my mic.
Because it's scratching against you so we can hear it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right.
Go for it.
Okay. Do I need to repeat anything?
No, you good.
Okay. So then he's at this masquerade ball with Liz, who Liz just, I love Liz. There's such an innocent thing about her. She had me weak. I was the belle of the ball. So anyway, so Jason's over there standing with the boys or whomever, and then Liz walks in and he was just like, yo, like he was quickly taken off of, right? She caught his attention and he was gone. And so I just started thinking like, is that kind of like what Jason is like? Like, is that what it might be like with Jason? Is his attention hard to be captured and maintained, and he's able to be swayed easily by someone else? So I don't know. I just think he's fishing out of his pond, but that happens a lot. So I guess he's right on par with the rest of the trash and shallow society, huh?
You had to, Shanae, didn't you? You had to. She had to go. Kelly, what you saying?
Oh my gosh, Shanae was like, I'm a singer. I'm gonna put it in.
Too petty for that.
She said, I will be Petty Pendergrass. I love you, girl.
I love it too, man.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so what's the trifecta? It's Jason, Liz, David, right? That's it. There's no Alexis in there. It's just the three of them. Cool. I mean, Jason, he's gonna need to warm up for the stretch he's about to go into. He's gonna need to warm up. I did like the hair move. I like that. I think that moment, let's just take a second and just like zoom in on that moment. That is the energy that women look for, regardless of whether you're an alpha, beta, gamma, whatever radiation ray you are, wherever you are on the spectrum. It's that whole confidence, less confidence, less uncertainty. The hair move was a good one, but then he regressed back into his uncertainty by saying, "Will I be a good match for you?"
Yeah, that was a mad question.
I said, "Jason, baby boo, no. No. Show her why you're a good match for her. Ask her what she wants. Do some investigating and then move accordingly. Sniper. Don't ask her, will I be a good match for you? Are you kidding me? I don't know. Will you? You know? So he's gonna need to warm up, because that stretch he's stretching for, I don't know that he's equipped. But we'll see. And I wonder how this is gonna go if he has eyes for Michelle Obama, aka Liz, but then also has eyes for Kyra. He's about to be cross-eyed, because those are two top-tier dominant women who are not willing to be number two for anyone. And I do not see them asking, who is my number two? They will make you the number zero. If they feel like they have to compete, they will make you number zero. That's what I think. Because those are the two top women, in the whole thing. So I don't know. David, I don't like David. Before all of your videos came out, Kojo, I didn't like David. One day we're going to have a conversation about the different kinds of good, nice men that you meet. David is on one of them. If we're to use church terminology, I could see a whole praise dancer with a red flag with David. Just just doing the calisthenics, just with David. I think Liz is an amazing woman, and I want her to be with someone who is wholesome and whole. And I think she deserves a chance to start her family from fresh, contrary to popular opinion that a mature woman has to be a stepmother. I think she deserves that. Now, whether it's a man that is older, her age, or younger, I think she deserves that. I don't think David is the best that God has for her. I think the thoughts and plans that God has for her are of good and not of remnants. And so she just needs to take that bad dress that she wore and go somewhere else, because she still got it. She still got it.
I don't like David trying to BB and CC her. He just want to sit up somewhere and be like, and I'll cherish each moment for life. No. Stop.
Still trying to sing with her.
He won't listen to me. Oh, I know it might sound crazy. It's all right. Nope. We ain't taking a seat and we ain't holding tight. No. Bye, David.
Bye, David.
And Jason too. Gone. I'm done.
What you saying, Maria? What you saying? Thank you, Ken. I appreciate it, man.
I'm so done with you, Sinead. That is hilarious. I think that Liz, she was a really good example of how to leave some to the imagination and then pop out. You know what I'm saying? Because in the first few episodes, she was very modestly dressed, still cute, but not showing all the skin and body bootay, whatever. But then when the occasion was set for this masquerade ball, then she came through and okay. And that captured their captivation on another level. Now, see, the antithesis, Alexis Fly, okay, she's been flashing whatever, everywhere. They weren't even though Alexis Fly's dress was nice and it's banging, she looked good or whatever, it didn't capture the excitement and the attention the same way. And even with what Liz was dressed in, there was still some level of cleanness to it, some level of imagination to be had, to where, it's intriguing to the men, And so I think she played that quite well. I think when it comes to her and Jason, I think, Jason needs a very specific type of woman who is not going to like tear him to shreds. Okay. I think Liz could potentially be a woman who wouldn't do that. However, Liz, on the other hand, she needs someone who is cut from her background, same cloth, of like the Christianity aspect, understanding the celibacy aspect of things, all of that. So I really feel like, what y'all talking? See, y'all doing some madness over here. Anyways, like I really feel like, that's what is attracting her to David. Like, I don't think she's necessarily physically attracted to David. I think that she's attracted to the fact that he grew up in church and he understands her culture and her lifestyle from that perspective. And then he's also looking for someone who is trying to be celibate, whatever. So he says, right? But David gives me the absolute creeps. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna just leave that at that. I think that she is being a little blindsided by the fact that he's a church boy. Not all church boys are good for you. In fact, sometimes those be the worst ones. Okay, and Kojo, you said it right. There's something to the fact that his ex-wife just up and left in the middle of the night. Okay, no warning, no nothing. Okay, so that's a red flag. Okay. So I'm just put that out there. And then who was the other person that we were talking about? Alexis, Jason, Jalen. Okay, I think I talked about all of them. I mean, I think that
Jason, David, you good.
Yeah, I think David ill. I hope he gets sent home soon. But I don't think he will, because I think Liz is still like enamored by the fact that he's so-called a church boy. But yeah, those are my thoughts.
I hear you. Yeah, I mean, watching Jason is, and I think watching Jason is, when he was first of all, I didn't even know he was Christian, so I was like, that doesn't work. So that doesn't work straight away anyway. So that was a no go anyway. I thought that was misfiring. But I think, like Kenny said, he started off so well. He did. He started off so well. He even did a little hair thing. I said, "Oh, go on, son, go on." You know what I'm saying? Showing that care. And like she said, he fell flat with the question about. And I was just like, "Why did you ask that question? Am I a good fit for you?" Like, you just put yourself back. Like, you were in the driving seat and you put yourself in the passenger seat after that. Better yet, like you said, Kenny, in the back seat. Like it was like literally a whole shift. Like, he was doing so well, and then he shifted his whole position just by asking that one question, and sometimes you just got to you got to be about it. You don't talk about it. You know what I mean? I think that was the issue of Jason. I think he talks a good game, but I think that's all Jason really does when he's meeting certain type of women. I think he talks a good game. I think he's willing to shoot the shot, the buzzer end time shot. He's willing to. But does he have the credentials to get that ball in? That's the killer thing. I don't think he has. But I appreciate the fact that he's not afraid to shoot. You know what I'm saying? Like, you keep shooting enough, you're going to collect one. So, you know what I'm saying? He just needs to shoot 95 times out of, 100 times, sorry, 5 times you might get it in. So, listen, that's a lot of averages. He might get someone. But I don't think Liz is the right person. But then again, Liz was, putting her hand on his leg. I don't know if that was her just being, soft and feminine and just trying to tease him a little bit.
Woman game, baby.
Oh, damn.
That's grown woman game.
Because I saw y'all in the chat talking about, how, we were liking the way she was looking in her, whatever. I just want to highlight the fact that Liz, she is, but her waist isn't like super snatched. You know what I mean? Fine. And so it's about how you carry yourself, your personality, all that also adds to your ability to attract people to you. And it doesn't matter the type you're attracting. If you carry the confidence and you wear yourself well, then you will attract the energy that you put out. Like, let's just keep that 100. And that's where we don't have the conversation around, the body types of women and stuff like that. Like, what Kevin Samuels does is he'll say, oh, like you're not a dress size 2 and you know all this, but he doesn't empower the women to say, where is your confidence? You're acting like you're rating yourself as a 5. But if you had the confidence and acted and carried yourself like you were a 10, you're going to attract 10 energy. And how to exude that is all in the way. No, I'm just saying like I'm you know, maybe I'm exaggerating in certain aspects, but what I'm saying is that like there's a certain element of like confidence and like stuff that plays a role in how you present yourself and what you can attract into your, you know, atmosphere. That's all I'm saying. Because she wasn't, you know, like her body still has.
This is fine. No, this is fine. This is
aren't
fine.
all tight. That's all I'm saying.
Listen, before she even put that dress on, she was fine. What she did was take it to another notch. This is what I'm trying to say. She was already a good-looking girl. Everybody was looking at Liz like, this is tasty. You know what I'm saying? People was like, okay, Liz is good. She looks good. You know what I'm saying? Like, we see Liz. She's wholesome. You know what I'm saying? She already had suitors. But when she put that dress on, let's be honest, the dress did bits. Okay, Alexis thought she was doing something, and she was. The dress was banging from Alexis, by the way. What Alexis was wearing was kind of banging. I like what she was wearing. But when Liz walked in, listen, even me, I paused the top. I said, oh, Liz, you going? Oh, Kenny gone. I slapped the keyboard and she went. Nah, she'll come back. It's probably a connection. It's probably a connection. I said, Liz already looked good. And then when she put that dress on, she looked fire. Right? And that's the key difference. She already looked good and the dress just enhanced and she looked fire. So it was just like, yeah, it was just like and she turned everybody's head. And this is what I'm saying. When you look a certain way, all the men, you see our shallowness will come into play. Now all the men were looking at, look how quickly Jason ran over to Liz. He wasn't even checking for Liz beforehand, bruv. And because he was wearing that red dress, lady in a red dress or whatever, he decided he was gonna go over. He's like, Liz is looking so good, I can't even not talk to her. What? That's why I didn't believe that's why I didn't believe anything he was gonna say to her anyway, because he only went over there because she was looking fire. It's almost like going to your school prom and then seeing a girl that you've seen every single day, but that one day she turned up fire, and all the men are like, "Whoa, brother, check out." Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what happened with Liz. Like for Jason, that's actually what happened. He never saw her, and suddenly he saw her.
I think for me too, with especially like when we take like Liz and Alexis, where Alexis talked about like both ladies were intentional in their looks. Right? Both ladies were strategic in their looks. But one thing you just like, if you got an aura about you, that cannot be denied. Right. And it's like when that aura is in the room, it doesn't matter what you have on, but you can wear certain things like Liz's gown that just accentuated it. I mean, the woman just like, did she even walk or did she just float in? You know what I mean? It was just like, even as a woman, I was just like, wow.
There was smoke
that's what you call breathtakingly beautiful. She's beautiful. It was just like, whoa, it was not just the look, it was the whole aura. And I think each woman has her own aura, or some may call it energy. And that's what people respond to.
I mean, Jason even compared her to Michelle Obama. You know what I mean? Which means that she brought like this class and like this regalness to her aura. You know what I mean? Whereas I don't think anyone would be describing Alexis Fly like Michelle Obama, because she just doesn't carry herself in that way. So, you know, yeah.
And as well, I think, sorry, Helen, 2 seconds. Alexis with Liz, I think the key difference here is this. Liz is presented as the good girl. So when you see the good girl come and turn fire up like that, that's the whole like fairy tale film when you watch it and the kids in school and then like everyone doesn't look at the kid's wearing glasses, whatever, and they suddenly take off the glasses and now wearing a banging dress and everyone's like, who's that person? That's Liz, because she's the good girl. That's actually how AJ even described her. Have you ever met someone who's so good? It's like, bro, like she's just a Christian. Like, but I hear you, but I hear you know what I'm saying? Like, whereas Alexis has already started on a hill where she's like, I'm sexy. I'm about talking about sex. So there's not much for her to go. Like you would have to do an astronomical somehow change, but you're already on the spectrum of doing I'm sexy already. So we're really expecting you to turn up. So there is less of that impact because you've already started leading with talking about sex or being forward about sexual jokes and stuff like that. Whereas Liz is this innocent girl, and it's like, oh, this innocent girl, and then she turns out like, whoa, that switch is mad. I never thought Liz could turn it around like that. Do you know what I mean? That's what I would say. Go on, Kenny. Sorry.
No, oh, don't apologize, Coach. This is your platform. I'm the one who's
No,
chomping at. I'm the one who's chomping at the bits. You're good.
What people say? What will people say?
Okay, so I had two things to say. One, unless it's a job interview, don't tell people about yourself. Let them experience you. Let them experience you. If you're fly, let someone tell you, girl, you're fly. Don't be like, I'm fly.
That's biblical, you know. Mm-hmm.
You know, unless it's a job interview where it's a prerequisite for them to accept you that they need to know something about you. Don't be telling people about yourself, because just let them experience you. Put your best foot forward and let people experience you. That's one. The second thing I wanted to say, it was actually a question that I had, and I saw someone mention it in the comment, and I just wanted to bring it to the fore, because I've had a situation personally in my personal life where I've met someone and I've met someone that they weren't like checking for me like that, and then further down the line, I don't know what it was that changed, and all of a sudden they're like beating down my door, and my thing was, excuse me, if you saw me and you weren't checking, the train has left the station. As the great poet Nene Leakes said, the door is closed. So so my question is, look at me getting all personal. My question is, does attraction have to be instant? In that instance, just generally, just taking only the story that I've said, because there's a little bit more nuance to it, just taking it straight as I said it. If someone isn't really checking for you initially, and it takes something like a Liz type reveal or whatever for their eyes to open, should you just like not pay attention to that, or should you what's going on there?
I'll let the ladies answer this question, because clearly men.
I'm asking the men because y'all are the ones that be doing the picking.
The men be on that. Oh boy, you're looking like you like what you see, and hey, came up on it. Hey,
what is the question?
Check up on it. Hey. The question on you was, wait, couldn't give it to him again.
So the question is, is it game when a man initially meets you and is not checking for you like that, and then subsequently is like, whoa, you're like, whatever happens, either a Liz moment happens and they see you in an element that they hadn't seen you before, or whatever, right? But later down the line they realize, or they say they realize, that you are, it in that moment. Is that game, or is that just kind of like life, right? So is it valid that attraction sometimes comes after the fact and it's not superficial?
I think it depends on the type. It depends the type of guy you're talking about. Like if it's like, if you're dealing like typical alpha guys, again, they're going to be direct. They're not going to play a slow, long game. The people that try to play slow, long games are people that don't have confidence, or maybe low confidence, trying to build up that initial spark. Okay, there's something there. If your objective is, hey, I know what I want, I'm going to look for that. If I see it presented in front of myself, more likely not, you're going to be able to identify it and go with that. If there's people in your orbit that just don't have that triggering moment, and then something happens that boom, now something's here, that light bulb switch is the light bulb switch, or that attraction, or that spark, of course you're going to gravitate to that. And again, with Liz, it was like the energy aura, there was a light switch that flipped up that was like, okay, whatever I'm doing, I'm gonna check out what's going over here. Whatever I need to do, let me figure out what does she have, because again, you don't see that all the time, and that's very rare. And of course you're drawn to that. And then in those situations, do you have enough confidence or enough game, enough swag to capitalize in those situations? Not everyone does, but until you get as many shots up or get your confidence up to, okay, I'm okay with failing over and over time, because that one time you never know what's going to work out. And hopefully both parties align.
What he
But
said. No, I definitely hear what you're saying. Of course, I think
I didn't get my question answered. There was no answer there.
Oh, bro, they asked you to. They said you went in circles.
Intense type of guy, like a traditional alpha guy. I think it's not going to work for them. But for most people who are definitely shy or don't have lack of confidence, and we're putting that Jason in that category again. That slow progression to that initial conversation, that initial spark. Okay, that to me could be game. It could be natural occurrence. You can't expect Jason to, okay, walk up to Liz day one at the mixer and like, hey, I like you, let's go out and eat. I'm not going to see it there. But if she kind of plays that family role, plays her part, or has feminine energy about her, is able to gravitate or pull gentlemen who are interested into her, you can see the progression. You see that guy progress to her, and then initially that spark. Then again, it goes down to it becomes Jason's responsibility to capitalize situations. Again, you can initiate the jab step, but to execute the operational operation, again, that falls down to the guy. If you're going to if Liz is going to pull that out and Jason just walks and talks to somebody else, then what's the whole point? We're looking at Jason, maybe something's wrong with Jason. We're going to say something's wrong with Jason in that particular instance. But right here, it's like, no matter what happened in the past, you see exactly what that aura, what that situation did to that man, and led him actually initiate and actually having a genuine conversation out and with her. Now, did he execute it to his best capabilities? No, he did make mistakes, but most guys do that, especially when they're uncomfortable or not doing something about. If they're uncomfortable or they're not aware of their entire being, or I say superpowers. More time, more reps. Hopefully, that kind of wears away, and then maybe you'll see him operate at his optimum peak. Does that answer your question?
That answers my question. So, long story short, in my mind, what I'm hearing is it's up to the woman to discern if this is game or not based on her perception of the guy.
Oh, sorry. Go for it. Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
So, if she thinks he's an alpha and he came slow off the, he was gun shy, then it's game.
How would we feel if let's take Jason away and let's put AJ in that situation? How would we feel if that situation happened with AJ and Liz? On the couch.
Oh, game. Total game.
Why would
we say that would be total game? Why would we say that would be total game?
Because AJ knows what he wants. He's a confident guy, like blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
So it wouldn't take that situation for him to actually be intrigued by it. There's nothing more he can gain from Liz being intrigued by that moment, correct? Whereas the other gentleman, someone like, that's what I was Jason, like, okay, like I see something that's definitely unusual, one of a lifetime, very rare. Let me go attract, let me see what happens in that situation. Let's see what happens in conversation and see where it leads to. To me, it's more natural progression. So if we're boiling down to swag, if you have swag, you're not, and to me, swag to me means like alpha, dominant male, goes after everything he wants. He's going to tell a woman, hey, you're my type. You need to go 1, 2, 3, ABC, 1, 2, 3. That's a whole different story. You take those guys away from just like the general population, again, different story. Now, there are guys that no matter what they do, they're still not going to step up to the plate.
Gotcha. What say you, Kojo?
In terms of the Liz situation, listen, I'll be honest with you, yeah.
No, Kojo, not just the Liz situation. Just so if you take a step back, apply this to just like regular people's lives.
Okay.
Right?
Like a girl glows up like that.
Yeah, glows up, or if you're in someone's space and initially, okay, imagine me and Shanae are friends, right? And we meet you and Anu, and you go for Shanae, and then something happens down the line, and you start going for me because you're like, oh, I didn't realize you're so dope. Or you see me in a new element, maybe I'm at Shanae's party or whatever. Like, is that real or is that game? So, because is attraction instant, and if it's not instant, just let it go? Or is a build-up or an eventual or later in your friendship type attraction, is that also valid? Like, what can a woman do to gauge if she's playing herself or not? Does that make sense? I feel like I'm
Yeah,
being
it just makes
long-winded.
sense.
I
No,
hope
yeah,
not.
it just makes sense. I think men can do this. I think it's a bit more rarer though, because so we have to talk about pools. So the pools are the societies that you, or the environments that you dwell within, right? Because like for instance, when you're at work, you will look at someone and be like, if I was not at work, I wouldn't look at you 1 second. But because we're in work and I spend much time with you and the pool is different, you're like, maybe you start considering it, right? Because the pool is different. But if you were if you're just out and about, you wouldn't necessarily go after them. So I do think men do have, we can grow in our attraction towards someone, depending on the environment. Like I said, when it's a stable environment, work is one of those stable environments. Church is one of those stable environments. I've had it's happened before. You are in the pulp. You are sitting in the pew, and the moment you hit the pulpit to preach that day, suddenly someone sees you differently. So it does happen. Like you can grow in that because the environment that you're in, people can grow on you. You know what I mean? In stable environments, people can grow on you. So, for instance, even the Tressa thing, if there was in a different environment at work, the men could have grown to like Tressa because they would have spent time with Tressa, got to know her, should have been her normal self, been fully herself, been able to be funny and everything like that, and they would have seen her for her. And it wouldn't have had to be an immediate attraction because there is time. Whereas when you're in a club or you're going out, there is no time. Like I meet you today, I might not meet you again. So I'm just trying to see you, and that's it, right? So stable environments oftentimes allow for attraction to grow, both men and women. So I do agree that it can grow for us men. Just need to be in a stable environment to do so. But again, if you're, it's happened at work. If you can become the most good looking person at work simply because the pool of talent is poverty. Yeah, it's just honest the truth. Yeah, suddenly you are the most important special spice thing in that workplace, right? If you work in an office, I've worked in an office where there's only 2 black guys. That's it. When you are fetishized after that, boom, it's done. Right, when when the rest of the world missing there's so many black boys out there. They're looking right past you, right? Looking right past you.
Yeah, so same thing happens in church. Yeah,
same thing happens in church, right?
Mm-hmm.
Same, that's it. So yes, I think it can grow. It's a good question. I think it can grow. It just needs a stable environment to do so.
Cool.
Thanks, guys. There's nothing better than someone that passed on you before and they see you later. And you looking good,
girl. I was like, look, if you saw me the first time and you didn't catch it, I'm sorry. That train left the station.
Oh, you missed
sorry,
it,
bro. You missed
it. You didn't know it could go down like that. Your loss. Hey,
that was it.
Sinead on today.
And
I'll be so petty. I'll show up just to be like, hey, it's been a minute. How are you? Nice. Take care.
Kenny, where you gone, girl?
Oh,
Kenny's frozen. Oh, you back?
She back?
You back, Kenny? Yeah, bring it back. Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. You're back. Turn your mic on. You were going to say something.
We see you, boo.
No, I was just gonna say, like, I just wanted to know if I was being harsh because I was just like, child, if you saw me and you did it and you see me later, you train on left the station. I'm done.
I'll be honest with you.
I'm like, if you didn't think this, yeah, I was just like, nah. And the person like came back like several times of like, and I was just like, I don't do do-overs. If you saw me and you saw someone else the first time and you went for someone else and you did like, sorry, no. I don't do that.
I agree that never go for that person who didn't see you at first, just because like the only reason why they're probably coming after you is because of the physical aspect has changed, and there's no point going after. There's no point. It's shallow for the reasons why they changed their mind on you. So I would never want to be with someone who sees me. I would appreciate it though. Like, yeah, thank you for showing that interest, but it wouldn't be anything I would pursue. I don't think that's the case. Last person we've got to talk about is Dietrich. Dietrich decided to take Tressa on a date. Do you know what? I didn't like that. Because I already knew you didn't like her. And I don't know what kind of date it was, taking on a Spice Rack date. Yeah, that infuriated me more. And then when she was asking even about the spices, it's like you were trying to shut it down, bro. I was like, she asked you a simple question: is this the same spice that you use for fufu? And then the guy was like, I don't mess with that. So I was like, oh, Jay, oh god, Dietrich, okay, Dietrich, you just brought this girl just to show everybody that you were good. Like, he's the kind of guy that goes dates a girl for a few days just to say, oh, I don't mind dating anybody. And it's like, bro, you don't even like the girl, bro. I don't know. What do you think, ladies?
He's about to be sent home. Like, I feel like he's about to be sent home either next week or the week after. Ain't nobody checking for him. So why he over here acting like he got options, I don't know. Because who else wants him? So that's all
Maria said, acting like he got options.
Acting like he got options.
He's playing Tressa. Like, I feel like he's playing her, and I'm just like, you are in no position to do so. Like, Tressa was probably your best option of staying lit on this show. So
who is AW? You have won the comment of the night.
Of the night.
That was funny.
Yo, y'all some comedians in the comments, but y'all be having me dead.
Oh my gosh. Dietrich was disrespectful. He was straight disrespectful. His body language, he was talking to her like she very condescending tone. What didn't answer her? Lola.
Oh my gosh.
Lola, I needed you earlier when we were talking about Joel.
Look, I just got home, but the conversation was interesting. I was like, let's jump in the last 5 minutes. She was up. Y'all had some fun this evening. Sinead, welcome back, sis. Kenny, I haven't seen you in a minute. What's up? Kenny, where you been?
It's work. It's work.
All right. Oni, what's up? Maria, you know. What's up? Of course, the man Kojo. What's going on? This was a good episode. I wish I'd started from the beginning because,
I wish you were here. Smoke Heart, I should have killed it.
Ooh. But at least we'll catch the
Lola, it's not too late. Lola, just give us a Kojo, if you don't mind. Just give us a rundown.
I don't mind. Yeah, go for it.
Give us a rundown of your smoke. Just go smoke by smoke by smoke by smoke by smoke.
Give us that quick run.
We needed you,
Lola.
Who
did you guys talk about already?
Everybody.
Oh, really? I missed
We're literally on Dietrich right now, so you're good. You could give us a quick 5-minute rundown of your team.
Dietrich he had nothing. Look, I have nothing for Dietrich. Like, I thought he was just looking for ex-wife, but now he might be the next man to go. Because who is in his top? Remember, he said the two ladies that were in his top. Who's left? It was Stacy and Chris. Chris ain't checking for him. He's going home soon. Like, I mean, yeah, there's nothing to Dietrich, right? Like, he took his lady Tressa to the spy shop. My thing is, like, I don't know if he was pretending that he was attracted to Tressa or he was trying to get like a storyline going. He knew he wasn't feeling Tressa. Why he raised her hopes like that? Like, he just extended her stay by 1 week. Yeah, like Dietrich Tressa though. Like, she knew she was going home, but still she felt. So she wasn't surprised that she was disappointed, but she still felt sad. And that touched me. I was like, But yeah, I think for the whole thing, she was wanting to touch me. Stacy, was time for her to go home. And the fact that she had, initially I was going to say she had the gall, the pretty privilege to feel surprised. Like, but then another part of me actually felt bad for her. Because she started going into that nonsense about, who's going to go with the kids to go pick out puppies? Sis, like, really, you thought you were going to find your husband on this show? So part of me actually felt bad for her. I was like, okay, you know what? I do feel bad for you. But she's been doing too much from day one. Like, I don't know what she thought. Yes, she's attractive. Yes, she was on everyone's top. And I think that kind of boils it down to the point where we say it's pretty enough. It wasn't enough for her. Because last episode, she was on everyone's top. Then all of a sudden, they sent her home. They were done with her. Like, just like that. Pretty is not enough. So ladies, if you're just pretty, it's not enough. So I think that was the lesson for the day for Stacy, because someone who predicted this, that she was going to be sent home. I can't remember who, but yeah, I was a little bit surprised, but not so surprised because I heard it. But yeah, Stacy, she'll be fine. Yeah, she was doing too much. Frick and Frack were doing too much. So I'm happy they separated them. So yeah. Did you guys talk about Chrysanthemum already?
Well, yeah, in a sense, a little bit, but you can go for it. Go for it.
No, because I was thinking like with Chrysanthemum, I feel like her interest in Ron had only developed once she knew that he was willing to take care of her. Because you know they didn't really show us him and the Alexis connection. Apparently, them talking. Alexis got to know him. Like I'm not an Alexis fan, but at least she put in the groundwork. She wasn't just mesmerized by maybe he has something to take care of her. But as soon as she met with him, grudgingly so, and she saw the little boom, he had some muscles on him. Okay, yeah, big deal. And then he looked like he could take care of her. Oh man, it was on and popping. Because you can even see all she wants to know is if she's number one. So it doesn't even look like she cares for him. So Chrysanthemum, like she needs to go to, I don't know whose top she is, but she's yeah. At this point, yeah, like I think this season is probably they're a little more serious than they have been in past seasons because they're really taking out the unserious people, and I kind of like that. Like because last season they would not have taken out Stacy. Stacy, come on, but now Stacy's gone. The only person I kind of feel bad about is I kind of after seeing Khalil last, what was it, yesterday? I kind of wish they'd given Khalil a little bit of a chance because he seemed like an interesting dude. But, that PTA outfit he wore, in Shanae's words, probably didn't really make it easy for him. But he would have been a nice one to keep.
Yeah, he wasn't good for TV.
Yeah, he's a nice, and that's the thing. He's a nice guy, and we said that nice guys don't work on these game shows. That's the thing. So, yeah, I feel for him, but I really liked him yesterday. You know what, Coach Joe, that was a nice interview. So he works. But yeah, I'll see. Who else did we talk? Who else? Joel, you people talking about, but he didn't really do much this week.
Yeah, Joel and Venicia. He's a baby.
But they still have chemistry, but I'm seeing some things like someone's trying to break into their chemistry, and I'm a little worried about that because I kind of like them. But yeah, I don't know. Who else is on the show? I can't remember anyone else.
Yeah, KG and Amber.
Alexis, KG, Amber.
You know what? All right, so AJ. Now, AJ is not my guy. But I see this week in that blue dinner jacket, I get it.
Come on now.
Look, he was looking crisp. I've never been a fan, but this week he got me. I'm like, okay, I get it now. And then of course, the one who took the night away to me, I know you guys probably talked about Liz. When Liz came there with the girls all picked out.
Come on now.
That's the one. And I love the fact that she's been just kind of, chill, doing her little conservative, nice look, not putting too much out there. But when it was time, see, the reason why I don't think Jason is good for her, because Jason saw boobs and lost his damn mind. He's a small boy. He don't know anything about Liz. What are you living for there? He trying to play in the park. Like, dude, go play with your little dollies and your little games, those action figures, and leave the real chicks alone. Like, that's all. He got confused by breast, and all of a sudden, like, oh, you've been in my top. Liar. He doesn't know what to do with a real woman. Okay, let me not talk about him. Like, I'm sorry. Let me take that back. You might want to interview him. Let me stop. I'm just going to say, Jason, go back and play with your little toys. Leave the real chicks alone. That's what I'm saying about him. But yes, because he didn't even notice her before. He didn't notice. And you know what? That's to your question, Kenny. You were saying that if a guy doesn't really pay attention to you at first and does later, should you take him seriously? I would say this. If he all of a sudden starts paying attention when you're looking at Fly, forget him. He's just looking at the packaging. He doesn't know. He doesn't really care about your mind, who you are, if you're funny. He doesn't care about you. He's just there for the packaging and the props. Because with men, they get props when they have a nice chick on their arm. And that's all they think about. So But if he comes to you at work and it's gradual and you guys are talking and you're just your normal self, you don't have makeup on and it builds up, then by all means he might be interested in you. But if it's just at the work, that work Christmas party where you decide to because normally at work we kind of dress like this. I'm coming from work, then all of a sudden at the work Christmas party. And I usually it's one or the other. Either you show the girls or you show the legs. You don't do both. Stacy, did you hear me? You don't do both. It's one or the other. But yeah, if I come to work and I got the legs out and you come to step to me and you didn't look at me before. Man.
Wait, Lola. I am flying. Lola, say that last part again. I am in bits.
No, I'm just saying. I think it was my rule. I think most girls go by this. You don't show both at the same time. It looks a little chilly. Or you're doing a muscle competition. You don't show the girls and the legs at the same time. It's one or the other. Then you look right. You look classy. You look nice. But you got the girls out and you got the legs out. Why not be naked?
It's about balance.
Thank you, sis. Balance. So yeah, Stacy's doing too much. Pretty girl, but she don't know how to put the packaging right. But she's gone. But yeah, so that's what I was saying. With if you meet a guy like that, he comes to you and you're looking straight, like tell him to eat your dust. He's only looking at the packaging. He's not serious. That's just my personal opinion. Who else have we talked about?
Ladies and gentlemen, that is Dr. Lola Ajasafi.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. She gave you style. She gave you smoke. She gave you everything.
In less than 3 minutes.
In less than 3 minutes. That's it.
That's my girl.
That's it.
Look, it's so
She
good
says,
to
Lisa,
have
you listening?
The gang bag.
We've had Maria, but Kenny and Sinead, we've missed you. This is why I jumped on. I said, my peoples are here and I'm not there. Come on, I'm coming to y'all in scrubs.
Oh,
Like, I want to come, jam with the family. I missed you.
Because I missed you guys so bad.
We may not call you, we may not say, but we miss you.
love you guys.
So I'm here because I
Love
haven't seen
you.
you guys in a while.
Love you. Love you. Love you. Love you. Love you.
Miss you so
Look,
much.
your assignment isn't done, please. Your assignment isn't done. Let's KG and Amber, please.
Oh yeah, KG and Amber. Go for it.
You know what? This guy, he's their last guy. And I don't know how to say it other than that Nigerian way. Like, he just looking for someone to agree with his nonsense. So for now, she checks all the boxes because she's okay, ready to split the money, ready to do this. She agrees with him on everything. She's not going to be like singing that song for long, it looks like. Like, KG, I mean, you know what? I shouldn't say that. I should say that if she continues to be okay with, what kind of man do you call this man that wants to split the mortgage and wants to split the car notes, wants you to feed him, wants you to pet him and do what he likes? Then you know what, if that's your thing, and some females don't mind that. I don't mind, stepping forward a little bit, but I want to take care of a baby. I already have kids, yeah? And they're growing up. I don't need another kid. And that's how I feel. I don't really, like KJ, I have nothing against him, but he's just, and this is another reason why I think as a woman, you should really be clear on who you are and why it probably doesn't work to present yourself in a way that's, I don't know if she's really going to be okay with the kind of man he is later on down the line. Now she seems to be just agreeing with him that, yeah, I don't know, that's a lie. Because when you're 8 months pregnant, I don't want to be like trying to figure out how I'm going to pay the bills because he's sitting there saying that we agreed that we're going to do 50-50. Like, nah, I'm not really feeling KJ. And I think Amber's, like, it looked like, because what was it, next week? There was a little sneak peek next week. If she did it, like, who did she kiss? She did something. So yeah, I don't think Amber's going to be, I'm not judge. I don't think she's feeling him totally. I feel like she's tolerating him. I don't know if that's too strong. I feel like she's tolerating him. She's agreeing with him. She don't want to come off too much. She did a little bit too much with Khalil. All right, we forgave her. But now it's just like, yeah. Like what were they chanting to the sun? That's a lot of fun. No, it's not. Like I don't need a suntan. I'm brown already. But I'm just gonna let them be. But I'm not. Yeah. Initially, I thought it was cute, but now he's getting too comfortable, and I think he's making the same mistake he made last season. Like, they haven't shown him go on a date with anybody else. Or maybe he has and they're not showing it. They're trying to give him another narrative before they kick him off. I don't know. But nobody else is going to buy that nonsense he's selling. That's what I'm saying. Like, you're going to step to Chrysanthemum and say we're going to split the bills? Yeah. So, yeah, that's my opinion about KJ and Amber. I don't think it's going to last for very long. If what I'm seeing is true, because... yeah, come on. It's all good and well. In a realistic marriage, if you don't make a lot of money, it's good and well where you kind of meet in the middle. But we don't start off thinking like split down. Like, nah, I don't know. Anyway, we already knew it was about that life. So you're looking for someone to take care of him so he can, I don't know. I thought radio people did earn, like he's been in the radio business for a while. Like, yeah, as you can see, KJ was just here as an experiment. I don't know if he's going to be a real, if he becomes one of the final couples, I will be surprised. Sorry, KJ. You're cool people, but you need to figure it out. So yeah, that's how I feel about them. I don't feel anything about them. I feel like Amber's looking for a way out quick. Because how she all of a sudden kiss somebody by mistake next week? By mistake. I'm just saying.
That's what I said.
By mistake. That kiss don't happen by mistake. Now, come on. There's a good 5 seconds where you decide, am I going to do it or not? And she did it. And the camera was rolling. She didn't care. She tried to send him a message, but she don't want to be mean. But yeah, that's it. Who else have we talked about? We done with that. Who else is left? Remind me.
That's it. That's it because it's not. Yeah, it's David and it was. You already done Liz, haven't you?
Yeah, we did Liz. Yeah. Liz has always been my girl. So yeah, we did Liz. Like she did it right. She acted like a real woman. The Obama chick. She's just taking her time. And all of a sudden, boom. Like, surprised. Then she'll put the girls back. And then that's how you're meant to do it. Not walk around all day, every day with everything out at the same time. And that's yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to judge these ladies because a lot of people do that, but that's too much. Like, you remember that date that Stacy went on with Ron? Like, it was a house date. Like, why are you going there with everything out there? Like, you're about to jump in a pool. Like, she could have been in a bikini the way she was dressed. But I said I wasn't going to judge, so let me pull that back. Like, yeah, I'm done. I'm done with it.
Well, we've actually touched all the couples, haven't we? Now we've reached the end of our review. We reached the end of our review, but there is one question. Sorry, the comment section is going wild, and Lola, you missed the drawing for blood conversation. So they want to have you to have the final say. So I'm gonna let you have the final say. No one else is gonna interrupt. No one's gonna add. You're gonna have the final say. The conversation got very interesting at a point where we were discussing, obviously, men's visuality. I don't know if one of the ladies wants to expound it to Lola. They can do a better job expounding the point so that she understands.
Kojo, you the one that stirred the pot.
No,
I mean, you were the one that said that we don't listen to men when they're talking. So would you like to go ahead and explain? Because heaven forbid we get it wrong, because I wasn't listeing to your male perspective.
One second, before we go there, Lola, did you talk about David? I feel like you missed David.
Oh, David.
Okay. Cool.
You know what? Right. With David, I want to put him on reserve because I kind of initially liked the idea of him and Liz together. But there's something, like, we're hearing all these things. I'm not sure yet. Like, we know something's wrong with him. Nobody's perfect. But I wonder if he's good enough for Liz. Because he looked real thirsty when he met her at the door. Like, yeah, I want everybody to know that we're together. Bruh, fall back. I only just met you last week. Fall back against the room.
Oh, I'm not on speaker. I'm not on mic. I'm not on mute. I'm not on mute.
So with David, that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I don't know. Like, fall back. Like, all of a sudden now you see that everybody's interested in him. Now you want to put your claim. So I'm not gonna go hard on him. I'm just gonna watch him. Because yeah, that's right. Because David, because he's the one that doesn't know what he wants to be. He's the investor, he's the real estate guy, and there was the officiator. Like, he's got too much going on. We know he hasn't done the inner work. He has some damage. Yeah, Liz don't need to have all that. Liz is a good chick. Like, I like her. So I'm not going to judge him because we're all kind of damaged in some way or form. But I don't know if he's functioning yet. So that's why I'm just going to put him on ice.
Lola, you actually said, go back. I just met you last week.
Like, fall back. There might be a honey in the room that probably was better for me than you.
I just met you last week. Go back.
Yeah, did you see how thirsty he was? He ran to the door like, hey.
I'm sorry, that's taking me out.
And that's another thing with people is like, if you come off too thirsty, if I was feeling you, I might just fall back and look at you because I was okay with him until that moment. Now, why is he so thirsty? Like, fall back. They saw you with her before. Give us some room. Yeah, so I'm just watching him. That's it. Like, she don't know. Yeah, she don't know him enough for him to start feeling like, I want everyone to know we're together. Nah, G, it's a game show. We change partners like this. That's how it works. But no. But yeah, so that's David. What was this scenario that you said that you presented to the ladies and became an issue? Everybody.
No, it wasn't necessarily a scenario, but we're gonna let you have the last word. This is gonna be the last word of the show, guys. So just the last few minutes. So there was a discussion. We're talking about Venicia and Tressa, and we were talking about the way that the men have interacted with Tressa and the way they've viewed Tressa. And I made a point that that there's a difference between Tressa and Venicia, and it was to do with the way that she dressed specifically. And I said, obviously, as well, at the same time, because us men are visual.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. I said, if you're wearing tight, everything's got to be tight. Mm-hmm. Right. And I said, obviously, when you don't do that, right, it doesn't look healthy. It doesn't for us men, it doesn't look healthy. It doesn't look like you're in good shape, and it's not attractive to us. So I was letting the ladies know that us men, the way we look at Tressa, if she was to trim the stomach, I'm keeping it 100% true. Mm-hmm. If she was to trim the stomach, right? Or she has to wear more flattering clothes, us men would look at her differently. But because you're wearing tight, like when I saw her there, I was like, okay, look, she has got a bit of a body. Let's keep it real. She's got a nice little back, her chest too. Like if this goes down, she's a baddie. I'm telling you right now, fam. You talk about Instagram bodies, that will be it. Do you know what I'm saying? But because us men are, and if you want to call it shallow, you can call it shallow. But that's how us men think and how we see things.
Yes, you guys are shallow.
But I think obviously for the women, I don't want to talk for them. I want the women to kind of give that. I think they might have heard us being kind of interpreting it and saying that we're how should I say? I don't want to misquote what the ladies were kind of saying. I don't know if Sinead wants to add to say what I was saying, just to make sure you make it clear what you guys say. No, I don't want to misinterpret your guys' point specifically. Do you know what I'm saying?
I'm working on my listening.
Okay, great. Okay, fine.
Really?
Okay,
you
fine.
guys went like that?
Yeah, so it was a good conversation, though. It was really good. I think it was a productive one.
What we were saying was, and I'm sorry, I'm just being petty, just to be petty, but
you're pretty, so it's fine.
Okay, but so not now, Kojo. Bad timing. What we were saying is that for the women to have to be compared to in a way where we have to be told to slim the waist and all of those things, it just doesn't seem right or fair. And I think for me, my specific point was that, so there's only one guy on this whole cast of 10 men who was attracted to curvy women. Yeah. So that meant Tressa and Vern. Joel happened to go with Vern. So now where does that leave Tressa? Like, she has no other option. And quite honestly, if Joel gets voted off, where does that leave Vern? Because these other men, AJ and the like, are they going to be attracted to her?
But you know, the truth is, it's unfair, but it's true. This stupid show is so annoying, but it does reflect real life. Like, these boys are shallow. They ain't checking for nothing. Like, you would see a chunky asshole want a slim chick. Like, what's that about? But he wants someone with a slim waist and his pot belly look like he's 7 months pregnant. Unfortunately, that's the truth. These clowns. This is what these. I'm sorry, guys. This is what these clowns want. Like, they want it fine. They want it baddie. They look horrible. Don't you see this? You see a chick like walk into the room looking nice, and she has some funny looking fellow beside her. That happens all the time.
And you're thinking he must have a personality of gold.
I promise you that might not even be it.
The money belongs.
The money belongs. But unfortunately, that's the truth. What he said is the truth. Like, they don't check, because you could see, we said this from the beginning. How many people were really checking for Tressa? So Dietrich tried to be the good guy, saved her 1 week. But the truth is, they weren't like, they're all talking about, even when they weren't checking for Tressa. And I think they weren't checking, like, Tressa, she's nice. Yes, she's not that, so she's a little heavier than V. I'll call her V because I know how to pronounce her name. She's a little heavier than V. But V is very pretty, and V is definitely very curvy. But for Tressa, they weren't checking for. That's the truth. That's the truth. They're just shallow, and that's it. I can't tell you. I don't know how to say anything else. Once in a while, you'll see a guy who will have time to spend with someone like her and get to know her, and then really kind of, you know what? I really enjoy her presence, and then begin to miss that. But just in a quick show like this, like 6, 8? Is it up to 8 weeks? I don't know. They weren't going to take the time to get to know her. Unfortunately, they'll still throw in a big, sorry, I'm going to say big girl. They're going to throw in a big girl just so they won't be called the sign of somebody that just looks a different size. But I will be surprised if and when they pick someone who will kind of go towards the end. And Tressa kind of knew this too, because she did say during their spice date that guys would probably sleep with them, but would they want to like wife them or be in a relationship with them? And that's the reality of it. Because even her tears, that's why her tears really affected me the most, because she wasn't surprised. She wasn't unfamiliar with pain. She felt it and she took it. She was hoping things would be different, particularly when they gave her hope last week. But she was still disappointed, but wasn't surprised by the disappointment. So I feel for her, and I hope that one day she will find that person for her. But these kind of shows are not the format for her. I don't know if somebody else comes on that might be different. Like, it just is. Unfortunately, these guys are a little bit shallow, you know. So they weren't lying. They might have been what guys are, but it wasn't. I don't think it was a lie. They do expect us to do all these things. We have to be all this. We have to make our, Okay, so I'm not wearing makeup now, but still, they want us to look all nice and good headed. And they just put a pullover on and put just put the camera on. That's what guys do. Yeah. Because, these ladies always come here looking fly, your head dead, skin gleaming. Just babes. What was it when you did, Married at First Sight? Yo, with all different.
Everybody was turned up.
Yeah, girls were looking like.
Made my hairline look bad.
Yeah, Culture, you did a little. You looked okay. I mean, you've had your haircut now, so you're trying. You're making a little effort now. You're making a little effort.
Baby, let me tell you something. Lola Smoke is respecter of no one, not a respecter of person. Y'all all can get it.
No matter if it's your platform, coach, you gonna get it. Your hairline was looking okay, but it needed a little shape up. You need a little shape up.
You're a handsome guy. You remember that first week he cut his hair? We couldn't tell him nothing. You're giving angles like this, like this, like this. No, but Culture, you're a handsome guy, but you don't have to make effort. You finally decide to cut your hair after almost a year. And see, ladies are coming for you all over the place. Like, ladies are coming for you. Chicks aren't that lucky.
Wait a minute.
Hey, Lola Smoke like it's reserved for nobody,
man.
A
whole Panasonic, but Lola still said you finally decided.
She said I came out like Khalil, bro. Just not trying out here. You know what I'm saying? Just not trying.
Said Euro was on shutdown now, but you see how he's on TikTok now, trying to get back that revenge body, like showing us the doom. Oh, look, Sinead, did you see the thirst trap pictures he had?
Ooh.
Did you see those thirst trap pictures?
Who?
Oh, for Kojo.
Kojo got thirst trap pictures?
Exactly. I'm a holy saint.
Ooh, sis.
I'm a holy saint.
Sis.
He does?
Sinead, you know I'm a holy saint. Don't let them lie to you. Like, I'm a holy saint.
Thirst trap?
You know I'm a holy saint.
Like he had his chest out.
Nah, Lola, I haven't.
You had your titties out?
It was
Kojo stay having his titties out. Kojo is not modest.
Okay, question for the panel. Was them things thanging?
He was doing okay, sis. I was a little surprised. I didn't know what was underneath this sweater he's always wearing. Because he's always wearing a hoodie. He got a little something like, okay, so maybe the winter time is, softening him up a little bit. So he's trying to get back together again. He's trying to get together for the summer.
Yeah, Coach is trying to get it together. Coach is trying to get it together all over Birmingham.
Next 2 months.
Birmingham. Kojo's in the caves. He's on the subway.
I'm gonna be everywhere. Penny, I'm about to bomb the Instagram with so many photos.
Are you out in the streets with your titties out?
Just a little cleavage, nothing too crazy.
Kojo's on TikTok. Kojo's on TikTok. He's walking in the caves and the tunnels of Birmingham, all over Birminham.
Kojo, you out here thotting around? Don't be thotting around, Tatiana.
Kojo was twerking in them London streets.
It was just a little shoulder,
out here, belly rolling and everything. I was like,
everyone goes,
Kojo.
Instagram. He's got those pictures.
Sinead, he was quoting Bible verses
like
doing
the boy had
They don't use an excuse.
Now is a stripper pole. I'm like, hold up.
Maria, you said
on that note, guys, we're leaving you. We're leaving you. It's been great. It's been amazing. We are now leaving, guys.
It's different.
No, for real.
We're doing the after session. We'll see you guys next week. Okay, guys. Appreciate you. Stay hydrated. Love.